What's up, everyone? We have a great show on tap today. Schedule is released, guys. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now. Finally, they've been leaking a lot of little nuggets, right? Like they're playing in Somalia and on the moon for this upcoming season. But now we know game by game. We know fantasy playoff schedules. We have Mike Storey's team-by-team predictions coming up. We're going to react to that. We also have Nick O and the reunion of these two that were my only two football guys for about a 2-year stretch, dudes. And you're back together. You have both been on the stream. Storey's the main guy. Nick O has been on the streams the last couple months, but you guys have yet to do a stream together. So we're all together again. The threesome, right? The great threesome that we've had a couple of.
Hey, the boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town. Love it.
Hell yeah.
I am ready to rock, man. Storey, I kind of wish that we were rubbing elbows, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But I'll take what I can get.
You ever going to get back to in-person stuff, Rob? I guess not now that hantavirus is a thing, right?
Well, it just doesn't work for the streams because the mics echo because we're all still a little delayed from each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we could record a video, but this is just so much goddamn easier. This allows me to do it every single night. Have all you fine gentlemen on. So it's going to be fun. And I also want to shout out Keith in the chat, newest member of the Patreon of the community. He's a professional fanatic. What a nice score there for the community, for himself. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, you came to the right place. We do. I think I did 29 shows in April. Dude, I've missed 5% of nights since the season ended. And we're talking the dullest months in the NFL. So as you guys know, during the season, you're going to see a lot of Nico. You're going to see a lot of Mike Storey, all the guests, myself, all the fucking time. Hopefully you can tolerate that, guys. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, March might be the most boring NFL month, but April's not that far behind.
No.
Other than the draft.
We're still 4 months out, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
But, June gets a little better, and then once we get into July is probably the most pivotal month because that's when we're going to acquire all this information, make our own opinions. ADP is much more valuable in July than it is right now. Right now, it's all best ball, which is just a little different than redraft, right? You get guys that, Rashid Shaheed, for instance, which is a much better best ball player than he is redraft player. Like, would you guys trust Shaheed this year in redraft?
Probably not, unless we saw a market uptick in his usage throughout the first month of the season. Otherwise, you are really rolling the dice with him week in and week out.
Yeah, I feel your story, but I also feel like they paid him for a reason, and he should be the 2 on that offense, in my opinion. So
I guess another year in the system. I mean, hopefully he takes a step forward.
At the right price, I'm all over it in redraft. Wide receiver 3 is where I'd like to have him at.
Oh, well, he's going more of a wide receiver 5, so that's the upside there. And I guess it comes down to price. If they drafted Price, he is a running back, but I think they love his return game too. So they need Shaheed to step up because Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns last year, guys. It felt like a lot better than that, didn't it? 2 touchdowns last year, and Sam Darnold played great. Torrey Horton coming off an injury. AJ Barner's just a guy, and they're gonna need Shaheed to step up. I know JSN, God forbid he gets hurt. JSN seems like one of those guys that's just bulletproof because he never gets hit, but Shaheed has that downfield ability, and, they didn't use him properly. They didn't use him in terms of snap share or usage properly last year, and he was dominating last year relative to where he was drafted for the Saints. And I've always loved Shaheed. I know, Nico, you're a giant Shaheed guy. Shaheed guy.
I am.
He loves him. You see him smile, he just lit up. He's just like, I love Shaheed, man.
I got a lot of faith there. And then I think he does take a step forward. I think he is the wide receiver 2 there, the number 2 receiving target. They do rotate through tight ends a little bit in Seattle. And I know they play defense and want to run the ball. I don't know how effective they're going to be with that this year. They might have to lean a little too much on Darnold, and we'll see if he can handle that too. So I don't know. I'm about him as my wide receiver 3. I'm in. I like it. I don't mind a volatile wide receiver 3.
What do you feel about what's his name, Torrey Horton, taking a step forward?
I don't believe a lot in Horton.
Horton did not hear a who. All right, it did not happen. So
in that game in the end of the season, that doesn't do it for you.
I try and stay away from this thing we call recency bias that so many fans latch onto at the end of the year, man. And I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it with him, where I've actually seen it with Shaheed. It was just the usage. Are they going to put him in the right spot? Are they going to utilize him correctly? That's the only concern there. It's not whether he is capable or can do it. And if you get special teams, return yards, or points for that stuff, obviously that's a game changer with Shaheed. But like you said, they might be taking some of that away from him.
Storey, the game you're referencing wasn't end of the year. It was like week 7, and that was the week he got injured. So he had it, but his first half was like 3 catches, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And if you guys remember, I started him in your league, Nick. We're all in the same league together. I started him that week, and it's a super deep league. And he scored like 24 points in the first half, and then was out for the rest of the year. But I was super bummed because that was before they made the move for Shaheed. I was super bummed when he was out for the year because I was like, I found gold here in this guy. I feel like he was going to be a solid like wide receiver 4 for me. But you've always loved Shaheed, so I'm curious to see how he does this year. A couple of questions for Nick O, since you haven't been on the show that much recently, and I haven't been on with Storey here. We chatted about Henderson versus Stevenson last night. I'm curious to see your take, and I want to preface it with the fact that Henderson goes pick 60 and Stevenson goes pick 80 in best ball. So there's a 20 pick gap, and Henderson's going ahead of him. This is a half PPR. What is your take on this backfield? And just give me the pulse of this thing and what you think.
Oh man, that's tough. In half PPR, I wouldn't have expected that big a difference. That's pretty surprising to me. I do believe that Henderson is the one moving forward. I think he should be the focal point. I think Stevenson, another year of wear on the tires, is going to slow him down a little bit. I thought it would have been Henderson last year, and I got frustrated with the lack of usage when he appeared to be the more explosive runner. He appeared to be the better player, and they just weren't utilizing him as such. Hopefully they see the light. They go back and they look at film. I think they focus on Henderson. I'm good with him going ahead of Stevenson, but at the same time, I typically, when it's a split backfield, a 1A, 1B, or whatever way you want to look at that, I tend to lean towards the guy I can draft later. And I think that's the value. So it kind of depends on how the draft falls to you and how you're building your roster. But I'm on board with Henderson well ahead of Stevenson.
Whoa! So are you trying to say? Let me just clarify this. Are you trying to say Henderson had good film last year? Is that what I'm hearing? Because I don't. My ears refuse to accept this. The film was not good, Nico. It was not good.
He had sparks, man. He had sparks. And as a dude who's just getting his feet wet in the league, hopefully those sparks turn to fire this year. And I'm an optimist. And I think he's a much more athletic individual who should be the one that gets utilized in that backfield. And he's a big play dude. Hit him in the pass game a little bit. And again, another year of miles on Stevenson's legs makes me a little bit concerned. But at the end of the day, when it's 2 guys that are close, you take the one that's later because that's always the value. So it's tough, but I think I see it. I like it. I like Henderson first.
I want to know what Rob has to say because I could see him just stewing there. Maybe he's broken up.
Sorry, I had a little internet thing too. I don't know. I just hated the film last year. I hate Henderson, and I'm not saying Stevenson's great, but I know Nico, you're a big like offensive line guy, and pass blocking's the thing. And Trevor Henderson's awful at it, and we were told he was great at it, but the film was bad last year, and I just go on the playoff run. Like that was really damning, dude. Like 75% Stevenson to 20% Hendy. That like, so why is it going to change 70% the other way? Or why is it going to flip flop? I guess is what I'm asking you.
I don't know necessarily it's going to go 70%. I could see more of a 60-40, but at the same time, I think the whole point in the development of these players is year over year, they're going to get better. And the older players you see decline, and the younger players you see excel or grow and move up. And I think Henderson in another offseason in that offense and their ability to coach him up, his ability to learn more. It's just one of those things where I'm going to put my eggs in who I think the better athlete at running back is. And I think that's Henderson at this point.
He is a better athlete. I don't know if he's a better football player, which I guess it remains to be seen. I do have one more thing for you guys that I've just been thinking about recently, and it ties to not just Jacoby Brissett, but just the entire Cardinals. And they're getting drafted really high, guys. Jeremiah Love's getting drafted in the 3rd round. You have Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison being drafted in the starting wide receiver range. You have Trey McBride being a second, the 2-3 turn pick. So I like all those ADPs for the most part with Brissett starting. But if we're going to get Carson Beck later in the year, I don't want any of those guys. Like, it's really concerning. So, like, Storey, what is your take on, does Carson Beck play this year? What's it going to take for him to play this year, and when will that be?
It's going to take, man. Is it just losing games? Because we saw Jacoby Brissett lose a ton of games last year, and it really didn't seem to matter. They were quite comfortable losing dirty last year. They didn't feel the need to make a change. But probably not. You got this guy, Carson Beck. You drafted him relatively high. But
third round.
Yeah. I mean, probably going to want to develop him at some point. I can see, they're not getting a long-term deal done with Jacoby Brissett. They really don't have anything tying him. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the fans are going to be clamoring, right? They're going to get a ton of love to start, but if the team's still losing, why are we playing Jacoby Brissett? What are we doing here? Casual fans don't really care about the fantasy stats like we do. For me, that makes me trepidatious about Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson. I think Trey McBride's still going to be fine for the most part. They'd be foolish to not target him a ton. But it makes me worried about the running backs too. Like all those guys are being drafted in all startable ranges. And we're talking about a team that did overperform because they passed the ball an absolute insane amount last year. It will not be like that. So I'm a little worried about all those guys.
What do you got, Nico?
I understand where you're coming from. It makes sense to me. I see the same thing. My concern, Brissett doesn't even seem committed to the team. He said he wants starter money or he's not going to show up a while ago. I don't think that's true. I think he realizes he's not worth starter money, especially now that they've taken back. But I think that's the insurance policy if Brisket wants to play games. My concern with Carson Beck at quarterback is that dude's a turd, and I have no faith in his ability to ever excel in the NFL, and I want nothing to do with him. The other side of it, though, is, man, the Cardinals are sneaky good at their skill positions. Like, I had a discussion a little while ago with TD Tom, right? Not on tonight, but he and I had a discussion how the Cardinals were going to be so bad, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, shit. I don't know. And we kind of went back and forth. And I want to ask you guys this question. If you're 49ers and Cardinals, right? Both NFC West rivals, who's got better pass catchers right now? It's tough. And this was before the Evans signing or before the draft that we had this discussion. And I know Evans and Kirk, but
right now we're by the end of the season because you throw in George Kittle there, and I would say the 49ers. Tunges, though, isn't a terrible replacement there. Yeah, I mean, the skill position players, you're right. They've probably got better pass catchers in Arizona, but it doesn't really seem to matter if they can't get them the ball or they can't coach up schemes that are going to be.
No, I get all that.
Or block for the quarterback as well.
I'm curious to hear stories over unders or win totals as we go forward, but I was looking at them a few weeks ago, and that's what prompted this discussion before I came on with you, Rob, is I was so adamant before I really sat back and looked at it that Arizona, just take the under, no problem. And then I'm like, well, shit, wait a minute. I get they're in a tough division, but like you look at what Wilson and Harrison and McBride are capable of, and they added Love to that. There's a world where they're a little better than I expected, but at the same time, there's a world where they're drafting Arch Manning and Beck just stays a career backup like he should.
Yeah, I'm still of the mindset that not finishing last in the AFC or the NFC West would be a win for the Cardinals, like a giant win, like a Super Bowl win for this organization. So I think playing competent football is first and foremost. I really feel that LaFleur is smart enough to generate or to craft an offensive scheme around the guy they spent a third overall pick in Jeremiah Love. That also makes me nervous about this passing game in general. They got Algier there. They've got James Conner there. They love the running back system there. And you got a guy coming in that's from the LaFleur tree that, he loves running the ball. I think they're going to use a lot of Jeremiah Love this year.
They should. They better where they drafted him, how much they're paying him. But Carson Beck is kind of the crux of this conversation, and he is awful. You know what? I actually found an interview. I found Carson Beck's draft interview, guys.
And you are Gina?
Gina. Hey, what's up?
Nothing.
Look, I'm going to be real honest with you. It's been a long time since I've been with a man. Spent a lot of time with the ladies. Looking to get back up on that pogo stick. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me?
You're a good-looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine, which is good for me because that would be a simple sort of transition. You know what I'm saying? Maybe throw a little rouge on ya. Tuck your sack back. You game?
No.
Wild.
maybe you could start some games on the stretch and with all those awesome receivers. No. But I will say this, the fantasy playoff schedule, this is when Carson Beck would be playing for the Cardinals. We have Jets at Saints, home against the Raiders. That's pretty tasty. That is about as easy as it gets on the surface, right?
What was that? Jets Saints for what?
Jets Saints Raiders is the Cardinals fantasy playoff schedule. That's pretty tasty stuff.
That's pretty juicy.
Easy as it gets.
People are going to be clamoring for.
If you're leaning on the Cardinals, you're not making the playoffs.
That's the problem, right? If you are relying on the Cardinals to get you there, can you realistically expect to be in the playoffs? So, yeah, maybe target them later
Brissett throws 50 times a game. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's crazy, right? What's good for fantasy is not always good for real life, right?
That's the thing, and vice versa, right?
Cruz, shout out Cruz. We have Cruz in here. We have Jonathan in here. A bunch of awesome community members. Appreciate you. Commanders have a sneaky good depth chart as well. Haven't seen much hype behind Shig. Is he worth a look in late drafts? You guys know I was the biggest Chickett fan last year. And, of course, he balls out week 17 and week 18. Like, balls out the last 2 weeks when essentially week 18 there's no fantasy matchups. Yep. What do you have, like 130 yards and a tutty? He's not a true number one. He's 6'2", 240. So that's all they have at tight end because Zach Ertz, I don't know if Zach Ertz is coming back. He's not going to come back to start the year. So what are your thoughts on Shig? Because right now, we think we all assume they're going to sign Brandon Ayuk, but we don't know when that is going to be. So he could be the number 2 pass catcher in this offense unless it's a rookie.
There's no guarantee that Brandon Ayuk is out of San Francisco at any point this year. San
Francisco,
Nick knows about that.
He's out before the season starts. I promise you that. If he's on the roster when the season starts, they owe him another $27 million, dude. That's not happening.
Okay. But not if he doesn't report, right? What if he doesn't report? He's still not communicating with the team. Can't they just not pay him like they did last year?
No, they. I'm having a brain fart on the word here. The part where they took his future money away.
Rescinded?
What San Francisco did to his contract. I'm having a total brain fart.
Rescinded. Voided.
Rescinded. Whatever. Yeah. Yes. They would, again, after June 1st, they can split that money between 2 years. And if they cut him before June 1st, it all hits this year. They still owe him some money. They couldn't pull all of it back. So you don't want to cut him before June 1st. They're holding out hope that they get a future pick, even if it's a late round pick. It's something for him. And the dude ghosted him. So the team's like, dude, fuck off. We're going to do the same thing to you. So I'm on board, dude. I don't like the people that are talking trash about the Niners and the Ayuk situation because I do the same thing. I'm pretty petty in some situations like that, man, where if you're going to be disrespectful, like I'm going to hand you a just giant disrespectful play back, right? So after June 1st, I can see the cut. After June 1st, I can see the trade. The money changes a little bit, but they do owe him future money if for some reason he is on the roster at the start of the regular season. And that's not going to happen. They're not going to pay him again. He will be gone. It might be the end of July, beginning of August. They're in August somewhere, but
start of September to really fuck him over.
There's no chance. Yeah, why let him get on with another team, sign as a free agent, and give him any kind of help or a leg up with the Commanders, especially when the Niners play them early in the year?
You have to wonder the later he signs. We have to wonder about his not athletic ability, but his conditioning, whether he's going to be in shape by the time he hits camp somewhere. I mean, a lot of people have speculated that it's a done deal, but I don't know, man. Like, this whole situation is weird. We have never seen this before. We've seen holdouts. We've never seen a player ghost a team like this before.
And there's reports that he's gained weight. There's reports that his knee ain't right. There's reports he's not physically capable of doing it. And you're going to bring him in September 1st to try and figure this out? Like, it's 8 weeks at least before he's going to contribute.
Well, no one's seen the guy, right? The only video we saw was him driving. It wasn't like a shot of his body. So is there a chance he shows up for a team? He looks like Eddie Murphy from Nutty Professor, and he just is fucking huge. Like,
there was pictures not long ago, like a week or two ago, where he looked swole, and some people are like, "Oh, he had layers of clothes on." Other people are like, "He's getting fat as shit." So there's questions about it. And then he just posted, I think on Insta or X, I'm not sure what, him holding like just stacks of hundos and like throwing money in the air, like by his Benz and stuff. And, a couple months ago, he posted a video of him holding an ice cream cone, like just it melted all over his hand in his car, like a straight 5-minute stream, dude. I mean, he is just gone. Like he's Antonio Brown Jr. at this point. Is what
With
it looks
the body of Zion Williamson is what I'm hearing. So he's Antonio Brown's mind with Zion Williamson's body, some kind of freakish mythological creature. This is Brandon Ayuk, guys. It's a Brandon Ayuk deep dive for all you guys. We'll get back to Chickaconquo in 1 second, but Cruz has a good comment here. What's the over-under for how many times Ayuk has even touched the football in the last 2 years?
I couldn't possibly tell you. I have no idea what he's doing in his off time.
Well, give me a number. We got to get an over-under here. 100, 200, 2,000, 60?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing in his off season. Like, how can we possibly speculate what this guy's doing? We know.
That's the idea. We're speculating.
Yeah,
give me a number. Nico, give me a number.
While he was showing up before he ghosted the team, maybe he caught a sideline ball hanging around, picked one up a couple dozen times.
All right.
It goes 24?
2,000. How's
2,000. I'm going to say 69. Nice.
Nice.
One last thought on Chickaconquo. Storey, we were texting about Chickaconquo a couple weeks ago, and you said he's not the guy. You're not sold on him because he's going like well after the top 12. He's going tight end 17, tight end 19. So that's pretty nice value, but you don't trust it?
No, I don't. He's an okay blocker, but he's not on the field as much as we would like, and he's never put it together as a move tight end. He's undersized for a traditional tight end. What'd you say, 6'2", 245, something like that? Like you want another 2 inches. You want another 20 pounds. But that should mean that he's got the body of Kenyon Sadiq, so you would think that he could match that kind of athleticism. And while he is an athletic dude, he's not like world beating. So he's had multiple years in the league. He's never put on a team that was devoid of pass catching talent, not just tight end talent, but pass catching talent, and has never been able to put together a consistent fantasy season. In Dynasty, I'd rather take a shot at I'd rather use that pick for another upside wide receiver and then take a shot at Ben Sinnott down the line because he's probably free.
Yeah, I'm a big Ben Sinnott guy, but I have that is gone. It's over with. It's done. I don't get it. He's only a year 3 player, but if it didn't happen last year's Story, I don't think it's going to happen because that was a wide open depth chart and they were playing Bates ahead of him, which is just it's also the Commanders. So. Right. We have Jay in here. Shout out to Jay. What's going on? Haven't seen the schedule. How do the Lions fare weeks 15 through 17? Lions are sitting here with at Vikings versus the Giants at Bears. Vikings, Giants, Bears as their fantasy postseason.
And if I remember, that Giants game is a Monday night game, is it not?
Yes, it is. And the Vikings game is a Sunday night game. So that's pretty fair. I mean, the Vikings always have a pretty good defense. Giants have a stacked front. And the Bears are going to be I'd say middling to top half defense. So that's not exactly a great
middle of the road. Like we all wish they had addressed some of the defensive line issues that we saw last year instead of taking Sam Roush or what's his name? That kick returner from LSU that they drafted. What the hell's that guy's name?
I don't want to know his name. I don't need to know it.
So yeah, they'll be a middle of the road.
Xavier Thomas. It's Xavier Thomas, right?
Yeah. Middle of the road defense. Not a bad schedule, not a great schedule. It's okay. It's fine.
The Giants are the only ones that concern me, and for me, a lot of it is defensive line, and that's where the Giants are strong at. So the concern is, establishing the run to open up the pass as always. But the Vikings defense lost a couple players, and Bears, like you said, middle of the road. So I'm not concerned.
Are we forgetting that the last time it was the end of the year, the Vikings, this is at Minnesota for the Lions, that game where they scored 6 points and Jared Goff had 4 turnovers and Jahmyr Gibbs had like 25 yards rushing. Do you guys remember that? 17?
That's the one off.
Well, I'm just saying I think this Vikings defense should be just as good, if not better. I don't know what happened last year with Minnesota's defense, but they turned it out at the end, right?
Yeah, well, that's how they won games. Don't forget that J.J. McCarthy actually strung together a fairly decent second half of the season on the backs of that defense. They weren't scoring a ton of points, but they were keeping their offense in the game. And they win 5 out of 6 to close the season?
That last game, though, I'm referring to week 17, that was Max Brosmer. That was Max Brosmer that beat him.
That was
wild
that's
stuff.
right. J.J. McCarthy got hurt.
He had like 80 yards passing and the Lions couldn't win. It was I could not believe that.
That's a weird game.
That was division game. So I don't love or hate. I think it's kind of right down the middle of the road there. Again, all these fantasy playoff schedules are going to be so subject to change. But I do have a list for you guys. We'll hit on later. 9 good ones, I think, 9 bad ones, and then I'm not going to get to the middle teams. We're also going to get Mike Story's team by team prediction win totals, and we're going to discuss that. So let's get into that here in a second. Let's answer Jason's question. Who thinks drafting anyone from the Bears is a bad idea? They have the hardest schedule, and not one wide receiver even had 1,000 yards last year. They have to run balanced offense to win games. What do you guys think? Well, it's like, do you believe in Ben Johnson? Do you believe in Caleb Williams? That's the bottom line, because schedule is relative. If you have a good coach and a good quarterback, you're going to win games, right? The schedule doesn't matter. The schedule matters for these teams that are bad, that have bad coaches. That's where I really get concerned.
Personally, I disagree. And I have been on this stream for the last 2 months talking about the Bears schedule and how last year they had a beautiful fourth place schedule and they still struggled in a number of games, and Caleb Williams had the most fourth quarter comebacks other than, was it Bryce Young last year? So they needed to win on the backs of like comebacks, which is not sustainable in my opinion. Now they have a first place schedule in a very tough division, in a tough conference. I'm worried. I agree with Jason here. I'm worried about some of these skill position players. You know, everybody's all in on Luther Burden. Everybody's all in on Caleb Williams, and I'm not convinced that those guys are going to be top end fantasy talents based on the schedule and based on how poor things looked last year.
So spoiler alert here, Storey. Are the Bears going to win double-digit games this year?
I don't think so.
Ooh, okay. I think they will. I believe in Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
I think Caleb Williams showed enough.
Yeah.
I think they take a step forward. I think they're a 10-win team all day.
Okay.
So here's the concern. Here, the guys that are concerning is Luther Burden, who's going 10 to 12 picks, say a full round ahead of Rome Odunze, 4th, 5th round. That's a little high. Colson Loveland is going 3rd, 10 and off the board. Like, and Caleb Williams going in the quarterback 5 through 6 range. Like,
I can't believe
that's lofty, right? Rome Odunze, though, in the 6th round, that's not that much draft capital. He should be able to return that. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai going in, the low 20s to high 20s, depending on, Monangai late 20s, DeAndre Swift 22, 23, 24, something like that. Like, that's fair. It's just the high end guys, including the quarterback, that's where you're going to have some issues if the schedule is rough, like Storey says, and the team regresses a little bit. Those are tougher. But Rome Odunze should be able to return, if he's healthy, a 6th round draft capital, right?
I think Rome Odunze. I'm worried about Luther Burden. I'm worried about Colston Loveland. They used him a lot to block in the first half of the year, and only in the second half of the year was he really unleashed. So, we're looking at, like, they've got the toughest schedule in terms of teams with their combined winning percentage of teams from 2025. And I've mentioned it already. The Bears won a ton of close games last year, and those teams tend to regress. So with all of that, I get what Ben Johnson is building. I don't believe in Ryan Poles. I think that guy is way past due to be fired. He made some okay moves in defense. Dennis Allen's got his work cut out for him, though. If they're more consistent on defense, that's good, but I think the offense takes a major step back. Year 2 growing pains under this offense. They're a 9-win team to me.
I can't wait to get Storey's over-under. It's going to be very interesting. Cruz says, I think Swift and Monangai will have a couple good games, but I hate having to guess who's going to get the touches every week. How would you guys guess this backfield shakes out? Is this a true 50-50? Is this year one what we saw? Not going to go off what we saw last year in the Bears because they're going to be a different team. But year one of Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, right? Where early on it was more Monty, and then it ended up being essentially a true 50-50 split. And these guys comp to similar, right? You have essentially Gibbs is Swift, Montgomery is playing the David Montgomery, Monangai is playing the David Montgomery role. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, the Sonic and Knuckles, the Lightning and Thunder. I think that's exactly what it's going to be. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it's going to be just like Gibbs and Montgomery the first time in Detroit. So I got nothing else to add to that. Good luck. Pick the right one. Play them both. Whatever.
Yeah, you're going to be flipping a coin, I think, realistically. It feels like they're going to run a hot hand situation. We'll see Monangai pop off for one game, and then they'll switch right back to Swift if Swift is running better the next week. This, from a fantasy standpoint, this feels like a headache to me. And let's see if anybody else ends up creeping in and taking some touches as well. It would not surprise me to see Rome Odunze get a touch here and there in the backfield.
So here's how I break down the value at the running back. It's really situational and scoring dependent, right? So
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but they were also talking about Xavier Thomas feels very natural at running back.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, I don't believe any of that shit, guys. So we have DeAndre Swift going around 75 and Monangai going around 100, right? So a 2-round gap. I would say in PPR, the value, even at ADP, the value is Swift. In half PPR, the value is Monangai. Does that make sense?
Both.
Like, both on the same team.
Yep.
See, I hate doing that. That's too much. That's too hedgy for me, man. I don't like to hedge. I like to win, Nico. I don't like to get 4th place. I know you have a lot of 4th place finishes, bro, but let's give the audience a little bit something more to dream about than 4th place.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
You're never going to know when to start those guys. That's going to be the problem. It's like
Correct.
picking up those wide receiver 4s, and you're like, this is the week that this guy's going to pop off, right? How do you know? It's impossible.
Yeah, I guess the upside is you're just rooting for one of them to get hurt at that point, right? Then you actually have a true RB1. But like, it's the same thing as why do you shouldn't take 2 like above average quarterbacks, because then you have to play the matchup game. And I know it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but like you usually pick the wrong guy. Like you pick the guy with the cupcake matchup, and that team will get like a pick 6, and then your quarterback's up 14-0, and he has 60 yards passing, and he ends up with 140 and a touchdown.
You can't play the Jets every week.
No, unfortunately.
Aaron Glenn's a great head coach, guys. He's a great head coach. Don't besmirch the great sleepy Aaron Glenn. You heard of Sleepy Biden, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Aaron Glenn.
Sleepy.
I know that motherfucker voted for Biden. He saw him sleep, and he's like, "That's my kind of guy.
That's my guy."
Groggy
All
Glenn.
right, so
we
got to get to Storey's picks, but you know what? I'm very excited to have both you guys on again. This is a reunion show of a great threesome that we've had many times, not sexual. I mean, maybe he's not sexual. Fantasy football, just great minds, great people. I'm really looking forward to this show.
Oh, I'm so excited to show these douchebags my new back. No brace, fools. A baby got back. How? A baby got back.
Dee, what are you doing?
Baby got back. You know that one. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby got...
Sir Mix-a-Lot was not talking about women whose backs have recovered from horrific spinal disorder. He was talking about gorgeous black women and their big, beautiful black butts.
Black butts are good.
Whatever.
They're good, right?
Guess what?
Black butts are good.
Baby got
I
back.
love that show.
I gotta start watching that show.
All right, Story, you say that all the time every time I play these clips, and I'm still waiting. I actually just started watching Eastbound and Down. I've only seen clips of it. I'm like, I know you love that show, Nick. So
I've watched that entire all the seasons, the entire thing 3 or 4 times. Absolutely love
Nick,
that.
you ever seen Letterkenny?
Yes, watched the whole thing. Watched
That's
all the
right
Shorzy.
up your
Caught
alley.
up on the new Shorzy. I love those. Letterkenny, Shorzy, Eastbound and Down. It is right up my alley. I mean, obviously, look at my team name in my home league, right? I'm Kenny Powers, motherfucking CEO.
Yep.
been that way for a long time. And I also do want to shout out to Nico, and I have a little clip here just to reminisce and walk down memory lane.
Don't
Some
make
of
me
those
cry,
new
bro.
people on
Don't
the
make me
show.
cry.
No, I gotta. This is the quickest witted. Your patience in this clip, it's so ideal. I think you guys might know where I'm going with this one, but I'm gonna play this clip for you guys. This is from 2013, and just an all-time epic Nick O moment. One of the most clever comments and off-the-cuff remarks we've ever had.
Pee Wee Herman died.
Yeah,
heard about that?
I heard.
Let's just talk about the elephant in the room that I'm creating. His personal life, which is a little checkered.
Yeah.
We all know about the public jerking off in a movie theater. But
Yeah, he was.
I didn't hear about the Michael Jackson level pornography he had of child porn. Not to shit on the guy's grave, but I tend to do that. Sorry, Pee Wee. But hey, you know what? You entertain kids. You were super weird. Congratulations on your career and your life. And
Who
this is
didn't
not
watch that
very
show as a
genuine.
kid? I watched that show.
This is not very genuine.
Should we have a word of the day for the podcast in honor of
Pedophile.
But I mean, in all honesty, he was the second most famous man to ever shoot another man in the back of the head in a theater.
Goodness me.
Yeah! Him and John Wilkes Booth, baby. Somewhat
Somewhat trepidatious in that.
I love
high
it.
five.
You did good for you, son.
Jesus, I forgot about that.
What an epic clip from 2013. That was just so you were so patient. I don't know if you planned that. If you had, I was talking about Pee Wee Herman, you had that in the back of your head of like, well, and I mentioned that the public thing in the movie theater we all know about, and you just that was fucking great. You were throwing 130 miles an hour with that comment.
I love it, man. That was fun. I do pride myself on being pretty quick-witted. So that was I'm proud of that moment. Sorry, all you Abraham Lincoln lovers. It was,
well, you said that Lincoln was more famous, at least. So
Yep. That was a riot, man. I love it. That was good stuff, brother.
Pee Wee Herman, John Wilkes Booth jokes are just they're a dime a dozen. Actually, they're not. That was the only one ever. Love it. All right, Storey, you have you're going through every game, every team for us here, and is this alphabetical? Is this division? How did you do this for us?
I broke it out by division. So what do you want to do? A division, then we'll do something else for a little bit, then we'll do a division, etc. So we don't bore people all the way.
Yeah,
through.
we'll do a division, and then we'll get to some comments. We'll do another division. So start us off with wherever you want to start, buddy.
NFC North. Let's start at the NFC North since we've already been talking about it. So I got the Lions at 11-7. Now I know on paper they're a little worse off, but they get a 4th place schedule. I believe in the coach there. This should be a bounce back year for them. They got teams against the Patriots and Bills. I get it. That's tough. But they got the Panthers, the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Cardinals. This is an easy path to double-digit victories for me. So 11-7. Then I got the Packers at 11-6. I got the Packers at 10-7. This one is filled with a lot of ifs, right? So if Micah Parsons is healthy, if Tucker Kraft comes back and he's healthy, if Matthew Golden can take a step up, then this is everything should click into place for a 10-win season. This is, again, very similar schedule. All these guys are going to have similar schedules, but they've got a 2nd place schedule too. So for me, I like them 10-7. Step down the Bears. A lot of people have a lot of faith in the Bears. We talked about it already. I don't need to rehash it, but these teams that win close games, they tend to regress, and they got a really tough schedule with the 1st place schedule. And then the Vikings, this one is a get-right year, so it's a 7-10 win season for them. So a lot of these guys are probably going to cannibalize each other a little bit, but I don't think much of this. They didn't do much in free agency. They shipped off Jonathan Grenard, so they're going to have to rely on some rookies to really step up. And then, they got a huge discount on Kyler Murray at the veteran minimum, but what does that realistically mean in terms of wins? I'm not sure it amounts to much. So 7-10 there for the Vikings.
Hey, Wally no longer finds you attractive now, Storey. You went from a 10 to a 4 in his mind. Dude, so you're trying to tell me, I'm going to start with the Vikings here. So you're trying to tell me that they win 9 games last year with literally the worst quarterback play I've seen in years from any team. And everything else that went wrong for that team, the defense going sideways for most of the year. And now you're going to tell me that this team is going to win 2 games less with Kyler Murray?
I am. I mean, they don't forget, Jonathan Grenard is off on this roster. So they need Caleb Banks, right, who's a rookie, in order to step up for that defense to be halfway what it was last year.
They lost a couple of D tackles too, right, with Hargrave and
they had a huge cap constraint this year. They didn't really do much on the defensive side. Their defense got measurably worse. Yeah,
captain of the defense there.
Yeah, this is
you're talking about Jonathan Grenard like he's TJ Watt, though. Let's just pump the brakes on that a little bit.
That defense is taking a step back. They're going to be 4th place in the division, no matter how you slice it. I'm with Storey.
Yeah.
7 is just low, and I'm going to tell you, I think they're trading for Thibodeau. I think they're going to trade for Thibodeau, and that's going to change your mind. I'm not even a Vikings guy. I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Give an over-under of 7.5 then.
So, okay, Bears and Vikings are going to struggle. I'm with you on the Lions. Nico, do you agree on the Lions? This is the schedule. Last year was weird because their offense was still top 5. It was still a good team, but the turnovers were up, right? The big plays were down. The defense was really rough, and they actually had a better defense the year prior when they had no one playing. Everyone was hurt. And then last year, they actually did worse.
It doesn't make any sense to me, especially with their head coach being a defensive-minded individual. I wouldn't have expected them to struggle there. I think he rights that ship this year, and I do think Detroit's got a shot at 1st place. I also think the Bears do. I don't look at it like they won close games and they're going to regress. I look at it like they won close games and they're going to progress. And Caleb Williams is going to take another step forward. Ben Johnson's offense is going to take another step forward. They addressed a couple things on defense. I like some of the improvements they made at linebacker and at safety. Dennis Allen, a very capable D coordinator. I think the Bears win this division personally, and I think they are the ones that are 10-plus wins, and it's between them and Detroit. I think Green Bay is going to struggle. I don't think that nothing's changed from last year, and they couldn't quite put all the pieces together, and they're going to struggle at receiver, and they're going to struggle with some injuries and whatever else. But you're talking 1 win difference is where Storey's at. It's really hard to say that's exactly it or move it 1 win another way and say it's completely different. So it's a super tough division, and it's really hard to call. I'm not a Bears fan. I love Chicago. I root for them every time. They're not playing the Niners, but it's Chicago or Detroit winning it. Green Bay's 3rd, Minnesota's last.
Yeah, it's the hardest division in football. I feel like the NFC West is probably the best division. But they have the Cardinals, right? And I know, like, we're gonna say that the Vikings, and you guys are all down on the Vikings. Like, the Vikings are literally 1 year removed from winning 14 games, guys. And the team hasn't changed that much.
Sam Darnold away.
But the team,
but
it wasn't just
away.
Sam Darnold, guys. It wasn't just Sam Darnold. This is a good
Super
team.
Bowl champion quarterback away. That's what they are.
That's true. Yeah, don't forget Sam Darnold.
So now Sam Darnold is fucking Joe Montana, is what you're saying?
Kyle Shanahan turned him into that. The prophet at offensive coordinator and offensive play calling, Kyle Shanahan, turned Sam Darnold into Joe Montana. Yes.
Let me phrase it like this. Hatcher, a good call here. NFC North is the most competitive division in football.
Sure.
You all agree with that? I know the NFC West or AFC West is really competitive as well, but you have the Raiders. I'm saying you have a team that has no chance to win. Like, as much as you want to say the Vikings 7 wins, like you got to see the upside of them possibly winning this division with Kyler resurgence, with Kevin O'Connell, with still an above average defense, with a good defensive coordinator. Like, this team is better than what I think you're giving it credit for.
I do love KC. I do love their coordinator. They are definitely going to finish better than Arizona and the Raiders. I mean, twice as many wins as those two teams, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but Mike Storey, you, my friend, are a little KOC-ish in the face.
What I've been told.
He gets it all the time. He gets that all the time.
I forget if I've heard that. I'm sorry if I've heard that and I forgot, man.
So we have KOC. Tom TD is Sean McVay. I am Mark Davis.
I mean, KOC is easily one of the most attractive coaches in the league. So
no argument there.
Of course, you're going to say that now, Storey. Someone calls, like when I've heard Ben Roethlisberger, I'm like, hey, he's hot. He's a good-looking guy. I swear. I didn't think that before, but now you're saying it looks like me. He's my guy.
All right, so who am I? Which coach or coordinator? Who's got the salt and pepper going these days?
Who is Nick O, huh?
I don't see it. I don't see one.
Oh, I got it. You're Rob Ryan.
Rob Ryan.
Did he have a beard?
Oh no, I'm just going with the long hair and
We'll figure it out. We'll think about it.
Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat which coach all of us are. It's already pinned down that Mike Storey is Kevin O'Connell and Tom is Sean McVay. So we got to figure out who we are. Chaz is too young to be in this. Ray is probably Rob Ryan. I'll say that. Or Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
Ooh, Wally says Mike McCarthy. I don't know if you like that.
Yeah, later years, Mike McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, he does got the salt and pepper beard. I'll give you that.
When he was growing
I got to get a couple more
chins. Mike McCarthy when he was clean shaven.
I got to get a couple more chins.
I do have an announcement to make. My wife, who is a giant football fan, shout out to Erica. She's very sexy. She's very sweet. You guys both know her. You both love her. She just texted me, and this is, she's helping out with the show here. She's in the next room. Week 11 is Byemageddon this year, guys. Week 11. Oh. Last year was week 8.
11.
So just a little nugget for you guys. Thanks, babe.
Is there only one?
It's always 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year we had 2.
Ask Erica to do a little research in the background. Which coach or coordinator do I look like?
Which coach or coordinator does Nick O look like? You got to figure this out. Oh, God. Derek says, I am Sirianni. I don't know if I like that. Not a bad-looking guy, but
he's
kind of
super
a piece
douchey,
of shit.
Though, and you are not super douchey.
I'm kind of douchey, man.
Not super.
Come on. Not super? I'm not that douchey?
Ooh.
You're not serious.
I'll take a W. I'll take a W on that.
What is happening here?
I haven't any idea, honestly.
I'm giving Frank a handy under the table.
That is true. Look, Snail, back off, because you're just mashing it now. It's not...
For God's sakes, Gail.
Mom, I'm sexually active now. Get over it.
33 years old. You're supposed to be sexually active. You're not supposed to be fondling your uncle under a table.
Whoa, we're not blood related.
Let's get to a question or two before we get to the next division. Jason says it's so annoying someone from the Giants has to start the PUP list. He's referring to Malik Neighbors. I'm so annoyed. I don't even want to say his name. I think he will go in the 4th round and redraft now. So, guys, early in best ball, we all knew about the coming back from the injury, but we didn't have the recent news about the cleanup surgery and how his surgery didn't happen until like week 10 of the season last year, not week 5.
The cleanup wasn't supposed to delay anything, though.
Well, yeah, but it's not. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. It's like a girl being like, I have herpes, but I don't have an outbreak right now. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, you don't have herpes. Like, you still had a cleanup surgery. Like, tell me all you want. We don't want to hear other surgery.
when somebody says like they've got AIDS, but their viral load is so low that you can't possibly get it, you're still not gonna go raw dogging them, right? Like,
Storey, you've been hanging out with Rob too long, bro. That is a Rob analogy. That's a Rob-a-G.
Heyo. I love it. So he was going mid-second in best ball. Now he's starting to fall to early third. Where do you see this progressing if the news, it's almost no news, right? No news is bad news in this situation. Is it fourth round? At that point, he's a value because let's just say Malik Neighbors misses the first 4 games of the season. Is mid fourth, late fourth of value for him just based on what you're getting coming back and who's available around that range?
I would have said no news is bad news if we weren't hearing anything, because at this point in injury season, you hear everybody's ahead of schedule. So no news being bad news. What is actual news? In this case, a cleanup procedure. That's terrible news, right? Like I've read every opinion under the sun about how it won't delay his rehab whatsoever. It's just scar tissue. Other people saying, well, scar tissue should have been cleaned up throughout the rehab process. Some people say he'll start in the pup. Some people say he'll be ready for week 1. I don't know what the situation here is. This is where there's smoke, there's fire with these injuries. I can honestly see, I think Jason's right. I think he slips into the 4th round because it would not surprise me to see him start on the pup this year.
In redraft, though, it's Ricky Bobby, man. If you're not first or last, you're taking Neighbors in the 4th round all day. And you know what? You don't play to finish 6th. So take your shot in the 4th round on a dude that should be much higher. And if it doesn't work out this year, oh well. It's always next year.
This is the same person that told us to draft both Swift and Monangai, who was playing for 4th. So now he's playing for 1st and 4th at the same time.
Swift and Monangai are my running backs 3 and 4. I already got my 2 starters.
I'm just giving you shit. All right. So what is the next division you want to cover here, Mr. Storey?
Let's go with the AFC.
I want to hear the West, man. I want to hear the NFC West. I'm excited.
No, we'll bounce back and forth. We'll give them some AFC. We'll do the West.
Drama.
Yeah. So let's go AFC West and back to our boys, our Lamar Jackson love, our Derrick Henry love. 12-5. It has been almost 3 decades since the Ravens had back-to-back losing seasons.
AFC North.
What did I say? West? No, AFC North. Thank you. Yeah. So you got Jesse Minter under the helm now. This division is awesome for the Bengals and the Ravens because they get to play both the the NFC South and the AFC South. This, like, for the Ravens, they got a beautiful schedule in front of them. This is more than half of their games against teams that missed the playoffs last year. I think maybe, the Buffalo game, they might struggle. That's an obvious Super Bowl contender, but I love a 12-5 season, a nice bounce back season for the Ravens and for Lamar Jackson. And then the Bengals, another beautiful schedule here, like all in on Joe Burrow stacks, right? This is an 11-6 team, assuming he stays healthy, which, these days we've seen Joe Burrow, be a little fragile, but it's the defense that's kind of held them out of the playoffs. They did improve on that. There's only one place to go, but up from one of the worst in the league this year. They've been aggressive. They didn't really they stayed away from running back, but I think that Chase Brown's a really nice piece there. Dexter Lawrence, Boyle Murphy, Jonathan Allen, like they've got Brian Cook at safety. So it might not be as great, like the huge numbers on the offense, but it should be a good season for them. 11-6. Browns, young receivers, revamped offensive line, but it's all about the defense. It's all about the quarterback play. There's only so much that Todd Monken can do. 6-11, even with an easy schedule. Like this is a rough road for the Browns. And then the Steelers, I wanted to put them down, but this one is like Aaron Rodgers, maybe Will Howard. I don't know. I'm gonna like middle of the road this. I'm gonna go 8-9. Losing season, but it's near 500 there. Whoever it is, it's going to be a tough road because you got the Bengals twice and the Ravens twice. But 8-9. They got to play the Jaguars. They got to play the Patriots. So yeah, I'm gonna go. And they're going to keep that Mike Tomlin like right down the middle road.
What are your thoughts, Nico, on those predictions there?
It feels a little nitpicky, same as the North, and I don't always mean to just argue with Storey, but Cincinnati's going to win this division, and they're going to have one more win, and Baltimore's going to have one less. But you can't. Nobody can know, right? Everyone's got to have their ideals or their ideas. For me, it's Cincinnati's bringing back their coaching staff and a little continuity there. Minter bringing in a new scheme and new coordinators, new coaching. I think it might take Lamar a little longer to kind of settle in, would be my only concern there. Cleveland, you are very generous with 6 wins for them, in my opinion. I don't believe in their quarterbacks at all. I like Judkins. I like some of the weapons they added at receiver. But and the defense was good last year, but losing Jim Schwartz is huge. I think he's a massive part of that team, even hanging in games last year. And with him dipping out after not getting the head coach role, I think that defense is going to struggle. They've got an entirely brand new offensive line, which it all starts in the trenches. And I think I saw them add 3 offensive linemen, and they lost 5, if my numbers are right in my head.
I mean, it's revamped, but like they didn't just add; they lost. So.
It's going to be a shit show in Cleveland. So you're being nice to the Browns fans out there. That's sweet of you.
They compiled a lot of talent, though. They have compiled a lot of talent, but it's like an island of misfit toys over there.
I thought I was going to catch hell for only giving them 6 wins. I thought I was being really generous with 6, but I thought I was going to catch hell about it because you look at fantasy circles, people seem to be all in on these Browns skill position players this year. Like, I don't know what they're seeing that I'm not, but I cannot, like, in good conscience, abide drafting Casey Concepcion where he's being drafted.
Is it Watson of 4 or 5 years ago? Is that what they expect? Like, I don't see it.
We got to ask Nico. We got to ask because he hasn't been on the show the last couple of weeks, and Dakota's not in here tonight, I don't think, unfortunately, but he would love to hear the answer for this, and I'll send him a little snippet of this. Who's starting? Break down the starting quarterback of the Browns, how many games, and who's starting? Because, I mean, is Taylor Green going to find the mix, or is it just between Shedeur and Deshaun Watson? What do you got?
It's Deshaun Watson the entire year unless he gets hurt.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wild.
Why do you say that? Give us some, show your work.
I think I show your work. I love it. I don't have to show my work. I got the answer either way. I think it's I think it's just upside and ability. I don't believe in Shedeur. The fact that he got called into the Pro Bowl, his numbers were just garbage last year. I have no faith in his ability to do anything above mediocre. And Watson has shown us a lot of above mediocre for years down in Houston. And if he's actually healthy,
not in Cleveland though. He has not showed us that in Cleveland at all.
But I don't think he's been healthy. I don't think he's had the supporting cast. You're talking about all the skill position players that Cleveland's brought in. And if those skill position players pan out like we think they're going to, and Watson's completely healthy, I think he runs away with it. I think it's easily his offense.
If I mean, multiple Achilles, like, also, what's the guy's work ethic? Are you literally going to put, I'm not saying you're drafting him, but like, you're going to put faith that we were talking about the Brandon Ayuk situation. Is he even catching footballs? Like, do you think Deshaun Watson's been grinding his rehab? I mean, I'm not putting faith in that dude
grinding
to do it. Well, yeah, that's for sure, dude. But I don't know if he's putting all this work in his rehab, man. Like,
and I don't know if Shedeur Sanders has put in work to become a real NFL quarterback yet either.
He's not a real. He's one of these days he's going to be a real boy. He's going to make a wish upon a star and become a real boy in the NFL.
And that's a 4-win team to me, dude.
So I agree with both of the Ravens and Bengals. I love both these teams, especially the Bengals for fantasy, and their schedule is cupcake. And I know, Nico, you made the point about the Ravens with the transition there at coach and coaching staff and all that kind of stuff, new system. But you also have a hungry Lamar. You have what should be a healthy Lamar. And you have a pretty fresh Derrick Henry since, Harbaugh didn't like to use him in the third quarter of games. So, he's older, but it's Derrick Henry, man. So the weapons aren't great, but I'm going to trust in Lamar. I like over on both those teams. And I think that's they're going to get some free wins there in the division. I think the Steelers are kind of the weird one because we all agree the Steelers are a better team. Let's say Rodgers does come back. They have more talent this year than they had last year because we look at the receiver core they were running out last year. It was awful. Like Calvin Austin was like the 2 the whole year.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy is the fat white version of Tomlin. He's going to be a 500-ish team. He's going to maybe limp into the playoffs, and he's going to lose. Like, I'm out, dude.
Keith says Sanders is minus 200 to outscore Watson, so that must be like a fantasy bet. I would agree with that because I just think that why would you start Watson? Because you're not re-signing Watson. There's no way you're re-signing Watson after what he put this franchise through and what he gave up to get him. So he is gone after this year, and he probably does give you a better chance to win. But do you really have any goal of winning if you're the Browns this year? You want to develop players, and I know, Storey, you made the point that Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback, half joking, like their franchise 5th round franchise quarterback. But it's like, at least with him, he's younger and he has a chance to be a bridge starting quarterback, like a Tyler Shuck level player, right? Where like at least you have that going forward. And then you can take a shot at next year's draft, which is a really deep quarterback draft, and you can go in with a quarterback competition. I just don't see any upside of starting Watson. I just don't. Besides winning games, but like, why do you want to win games?
Yeah, they're on the march for Arch, right?
That organization has always.
I'll be back in 2.
They've always like eschewed draft capital. They tend to draft pretty well. They've always kind of like pushed off like draft capital to win games near the end of the season, ruining their draft slot on occasion. They're not like Miami or Atlanta, who's like, screw it, we're just good. We're not going to win or whatever. The Browns seem like they're a prideful organization, which seems to be their downfall. Wouldn't you want them to get back to the number 1 overall pick so they could get Arch Manning or hold
on. Let me stop you there for a second, Storey. There is no way that the Manning family is going to allow Arch Manning to fucking trot his ass down to Cleveland. No, like the Jets, Cleveland, those are 2 teams that just the Mannings would not be on board. Like they didn't want to go to the Chargers, Storey, and that's not as bad of a franchise as the Browns.
Then Dante Moore, right? Then Dante Moore or Lenore Sellers or whomever it is. That's the number 1 overall pick will be.
Couldn't they get the kid from Texas Tech for free when his suspension's up?
Yeah,
the gambler.
Yeah, or you know what? They could sign what's his name, who's still floating around out there. It'll come to me anyway. Where does Dylan Gabriel sign when he inevitably gets cut from the Browns? Because he's a 3rd round pick.
The CFL, dude. The CFL. Dylan Gabriel's trash. He's so bad. Like, as much as we want to rip on Shedeur Sanders, at least he had glimpses, right? There were some glimpses, a couple of really good games, a 400-yard, 4-touchdown game. I know it was against the Steelers, which was a really bad portion of their defense.
That was bolstered by what's his name? Who's the backup running back there to Judkins?
Dylan Sampson, baby.
Yeah, Dylan Sampson caught that like screen pass and went like 75 yards. So
still. Dylan Gabriel showed me nothing besides 2-yard passes to Harold Fannin, which I loved last year because I had Harold Fannin everywhere. But like he couldn't throw the ball on field. Like
draft capital carries you a long way in this league, and at a 3rd round pick, you don't think somebody's going to scoop in and swoop in and pick him up?
Real quick, last point here from Jonathan. I really don't understand all this hype for Arch Manning. Is it just pedigree and like archetype for Arch Manning, or do you see anything on the field, Storey, that tells you Arch Manning is deserving of the number 1 pick?
Yeah, last season was extraordinarily rough to start the year. Like rough. Dude looked nervous, inaccurate. It was bad, but he played really well down the stretch. So yes, I understand the trepidation when it comes to him being like this generational talent, but it is pedigree. He's got literally the best coaching in the world behind him. He's got an industrial complex behind him to make sure that he will succeed. So, and with another year, I'm not a huge fan of Sarkisian's system. I think it's kind of generic, but another year in a pro-style offense, he'll be ready for the draft unless he completely falls on his face or gets injured. And if he gets injured, he'll probably come back for another year. Then he will be the number 1 overall pick.
Is it justified, though, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, because it's a projection at this point because he hasn't showed a lot on the field.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks that are coming up in this draft class, like a lot of good quarterbacks. But realistically, like, I get it. It was like you watched that first game against Ohio State. That was terrible, but it was the best defense in the country. So, and he struggled throughout the first half, the first quarter, the first half of the year. Go back and watch the second half of the year. It was a much more improved Arch Manning.
All right. I'm going to hit you guys with the intro, and then we're going to get back to the other 6 divisions Mike Storey has to go through. Can't wait for that.
How do you feel about that?
That was actually pieces of poop. That was pieces of poop. Speaking of pieces of poop, whoops. Ooh, sorry. I didn't mean to put that pieces of poop right there. It's our favorite guy there. MJ, not Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson.
He was
And
just
haven't seen
spotted
this
on
in
a
while.
bus in Brazil, I heard.
Ooh, hell.
He's still alive. This is not a piece of poop. This is our lovely Helen. We love Helen. So appreciate you, Helen Hunt, for being awesome. Real quick, I do want to shout out to all the Patreon bros and shout out to Keith Hernandez. We're going to call him Keith Hernandez now. The newest Fanatic member, as well as Jake and some of the others that have been joining and sticking with us on this program. You get a lot of good stuff. I don't want to go through the whole spiel, but you guys know what you get. And if you have any questions, you just email me, sign up. I'll take care of you. We take care of our own around here. ProfessionalFanatics.com. Link in the description. As well as, guys, check out Downtown Sports. 23 platforms. They're on YouTube. Give them a follow. Give them a like. Give them a listen. There you go. What's up, Nico?
A quick aside. Did they make a Helen Hunt fist toy? I feel like I heard that at one point. Are you aware of this?
Ooh.
What?
No, but I want to. I mean,
I thought they made a replica of her fist for those who might enjoy it. I'm not certain it's real, but I feel like I heard that rumor some years ago. And if anybody knew, it'd be you.
That's interesting. I did not hear about that. I will say, Rob, did you ask Keith if he lives in a third floor brownstone and if he needs help moving?
Is that a thick marble?
3 inches.
Is that a sectional? That's fucking good shit. Nico gave me a private message saying, fuck it, I'll stay on longer. It's Friday, but isn't it Thursday tonight?
No, tomorrow's Friday, and I can be tired at work and leave early and not care because it's Friday.
There you go.
We got Nico for the duration of the show. Very good news. Very good news. All right, Storey, what is your next division? We're going back to the NFC. Pick your poison.
Let's go with the West, because per Nico's insistence. I'll speed these up a little bit so we're not here till Saturday morning. But 11-6 for the Seahawks. I know they lost some pieces on defense, but they're bringing back virtually everybody on offense with the exception of the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker III. They get the foundational pieces there. They're one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. That Super Bowl window is still wide open. Sam Darnold, he did not pumpkin last year, 11-6. 49ers, Nico, 10-7. You okay with that? I mean, that's a pretty good one. They're an older team, right? But you get Fred Warner and Nick Bosa both back from season-ending injuries. They added Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. Neither one of those guys are in their prime, but they're difference-making. They're going to be a better option for Brock Purdy. And they get Dre Greenlaw this year. So it looks like the window's closing a little bit. They're one of the older rosters. You got to hope they stay healthy. But if they do, it's 10-7. The Rams, I'm going 9-8. There's a lot of ifs and kind of weird things going on, like with Puka Nacua, right? Do we know that stuff is in the rearview mirror, or is it still going to be popping up during the season? And last year was the first time that Matthew Stafford played all 17 games since 2021. So I'm not sure that's going to happen again. They did add some pieces. You know, that trade with Kansas City helps out a lot. But I'm going 9-8 for these guys. I think they take a step back. And then we talked about it previously, but not 4-13 for the Cardinals. Go back and watch for my reasons why. A lot of this is just going to be hiding the deficiencies on the offense by utilizing Jeremiah Love.
I have one quick point. So we mentioned Puka Nacua. I wish he played in the Lions because could you imagine him biting the chick and then Dan Campbell being asked about it and he'd just be like, I endorse it. I bite motherfuckers' kneecaps. Puka Nacua biting bitches' fucking necks. Like,
I wish he was on the kneecap, but beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah. He's slowly moving down the torso to the kneecap, guys. Mr. Free Throw Derek says, I need the Tiny Dancer clip. Derek, I had to delete it because I only have 100 clips on here that I can have, and I feel like he kind of graduated from the Tiny Dancer. I know I'm still going to refer to him as a Tiny Dancer. We should all refer to him as a Tiny Dancer. I'll upload it again for you for the next stream because it is an epic clip. And by the way, I think you guys were both on the stream. Me and you for sure, Nico, were on that. I think all three of us were. Yeah, all three of us were on that stream when we made up that nickname 3 years ago.
Were we on for that?
Yeah, it was after his rookie year. So Kenneth Walker was a rookie in 2022. So it was 2023. Might have been 2022. Yeah, we came up with that nickname on the stream together. I made it up, and you guys kind of cultivated it with me because I was talking about Elton John and AIDS or whatever.
And to retire at least for a little bit, seeing as he is the MVP of the Super Bowl. So,
what did you say for your Cardinals prediction? I kind of zoned out.
4-13.
Pretty fair. The Rams one though, 9-8 for the Rams. Like,
yeah.
I can't see that. They improved that defense immensely. So
the defense is going to be much better.
Is the issue going to be Matt Stafford, offensive line?
Adams is another year old. Stafford's 38. Puka Nacua is they don't have a third wide receiver of note. Their backup quarterback is Ty Simpson. I have a lot of concerns about this offense.
I understand the concerns about the offense, and I am a self-admitted homer, right? I love the Niners through and through, man. I got the flag, I got the hat. I'm wrapping them nonstop. And once in a while, I bat with my heart, I bat with my gut. But my head tells me the Rams are going to win this division, is what my head tells me. And I think the only weakness on their defense last year was susceptible to the pass game on the outside. And they shored that up with two really good corners, or not really good, but much better than what they had. And they are a Stafford injury away. I was surprised. I traded him away in a super flex early in the year, thinking he's going to get broke halfway through last year. And that one came back to bite me, but it is a lot on Stafford's health. My other concern is the number of touches Christian McCaffrey have. When you look at running backs historically that go over 300 or 350 touches, they almost never repeat that the next year, and they typically are injured quite a bit. And McCaffrey had somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 touches last year. And I'm very concerned that he's going to get injured this year. So I'm more worried about him.
Nico, you guys took a fifth round running back in the third round, so you guys are good.
Oh no, he was a sixth round running back in the third round. Don't get it twisted. He wasn't even invited to the combine. And Shanahan came on and said he was the number 2 quarterback on their board. So is he better than Love or Price? Who is he better than?
Price is terrible.
He's the number 2. Shanahan said that? What a liar. Yep. What an absolute liar.
Shanahan and Lynch said.
Storey hating on coaches. Storey, is your Rams 9-8 pick, is it reflective of your hate of Sean McVay because he's a bad coach?
No, it's not. This is like, I'm trying to.
It's a gut feeling. Is that what I'm hearing here?
It's related to injury. Like I find it very hard to believe that Stafford, dealing with the back injury at the beginning of last year, is not going to miss a game here and there. And, if he misses 3 games, that's 3 losses for this team right off the bat.
Adams ain't no spring chicken either. I'm with you there.
Yeah, Adams is another year older. And Puka Nacua, like the weird offseason stuff with this guy, like if he misses time in the middle of the season, he's also been banged up in his career. He'll miss at least a couple of games here and there. So, yeah, I agree. I think the defense is much improved. But it's a tough division, right? You got to play the Seahawks twice. You got to play the 49ers twice. I'm just not so sure that this team, we've seen McVay's teams take steps back in the past. That's what I'm looking at this year.
All 3 of the Niners receivers are bound to miss some games too. I mean, Kirk Evans and Pearsall at the stage they're at in their career and their history. I don't see any way those 3 all play a full season. And my McCaffrey concern. So I love the love for the Niners. I want them obviously to do well. But at the end of the day, if I'm picking this division right now, I'm going LA, Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona. That's the order that's going to finish in my opinion.
It's interesting that I'm more bullish on San Francisco this year because I think this is the last year of your Super Bowl window.
Dude, that window is so exciting.
They're aged out after this. And Shanahan.
Maybe you could squeeze through that window, Story, but
Shanahan and Lynch will be looking for a new job in 28. Mark my words.
You were talking about the Niners wide receiver core. I thought would be the funniest signing is if the Niners brought in Marshawn Lloyd. He would die. Like, not get injured. He would just die. It would be like a situation like who was the guy in the Bills that refresh my memory that died on the field?
The safety.
Yeah, it was a safety.
I hate it. I hate him just because they cost me a bunch of money in fantasy because that game got fucking voided.
Yeah, what a weird situation. What the hell was that?
Damar Hamlin. There you go. But like he would just like incinerate on the field. Like he would just incinerate. Like, how in Back to the Future when Marty's like the things are getting fucked up and he sees the picture and he's like disappearing. Like that's Marshawn Lloyd getting a touch in the Niners backfield, just disappears from existence and he's just gone. All right. What is the next division, Mr. Michael Storey?
Let's flip on to the AFC West. Let's go over there. Let's start with who I think is going to win this division, the Denver Broncos. I think the signing of Jalen Waddle is going under the radar a little bit. I think that really bolsters the other side of the field other than Cortland Sutton. So the defense might take a step back, but they can take a step back in this division in particular. I think the Chiefs are going to struggle. Obviously, the Raiders are going to struggle. This team should be really excellent. Assuming Bo Nix is healthy, I see them winning 11 games, 11-6 here for the Broncos. And then I hate to admit it because I don't like Harbaugh, but this looks like a double-digit win team for me for the Chargers, 10-7. This, the signing McDaniel as their offensive coordinator, that should change things a lot. He is molding that offense into what he wants. It's going to be like it'll be Miami West. It'll be exciting to see. They got a lot of pieces there. They're going to miss Jesse Minter. We talked about him with Baltimore. And they could have used like another pass rusher, but in general, like I think they're going to do enough. And they'll falter early in the playoffs, like they always do. It'll be beautiful to see. But 10-7 for the Chargers. I am not convinced, despite what the NFL might think. They put the Chiefs versus the Broncos on Monday Night Football in Week 1, so I think they're going all in that Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. I still have a wild time thinking that's going to case. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm putting this team at 8-9. Even with Patrick Mahomes being back at some point, they're going to struggle, man. They gotten way older. There's a lot of risk to them. Justin Fields, like, what can he realistically do as a backup there? Andy Reid.
All he did was win in Pittsburgh and New York and still got benched. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, that's true. He did win in New York too. You're right. But what did they do in the wide receiver core? Did they really make any adjustments to get a better team around him? No. This is an 8-9 team. Mahomes it's going to be a year until he gets back to form, and then 4-13 for the Raiders. I mean, not much needs to be said here. Clint Kubiak's got his work cut out for him, but they've got Kirk Cousins to lead the charge for a little bit, and then they're going to have Fernando Mendoza eventually take over. The roster is improved, but it's a tough division. They had a long way to go. They made some nice signings. Gerard McCoy. Hopefully, that guy can actually play football. We talked about it during the draft season. He'll be a nice addition to them. And then I guess Max Crosby will still be there, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So they're not going to be able to escape the bottom of the AFC West, though.
Nico, thoughts on those win totals there from Storey?
This is the best division he's done yet. I completely aligned with 1 through 4. The win totals are close to what I would think. The Raiders are going to struggle. There's no way around that. Like I said, I don't think Crosby gets through week 8 on that team. I mean, maybe even as early as 6, he's getting traded to a contender who needs some help. And the Broncos should take it, man. I want to believe in the Chargers, but until I see it, I'm going to have a hard time doing that.
I think that 8-9 for the Chiefs is a little bit egregious just because it's the Chiefs. It's Andy Reid. It's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes to start the year. We'll see how it goes. Now, maybe that's a bad thing if he comes back too early because that could limit his ceiling, right? But the defense is the issue. But I'm just like thinking more for fantasy lenses. Like I like it if the defense sucks. We might get somewhat of 2021 Chiefs offense. And
until Spagnuolo leaves, that defense isn't going to suck. I think the offense is going to struggle to move the ball, even with bringing in Walker. The best running back they've had in a long time. I don't think that they have the offensive line. I don't think Kelsey's what he used to be. And I don't have a ton of faith in those receivers.
Yeah, Kelsey looked a step slow last year. I agree. Walker's a nice addition, but who's their wide receiver 1 there? Like who's realistically going?
Rasheed Rice.
Right.
If he's available.
If he's available, right? And if he's not, who's their wide receiver 1? Xavier Worthy?
No. Tyquan Thornton.
Okay.
No one. That's the problem.
Kenneth Walker. All right, we got to move on. I'm going to get to a couple comments here before we get to the next division. Hetcher says, what about a Helen Hunt fleshlights? Profitable. I mean, I would probably buy up about 100 of them. So
I'll be right back.
I'd rather have a
I've never used a flashlight though.
Twister tornado shaped flashlight.
There you go. I've never used one, but if they made a Helen Hunt one, I'm in. And my wife's probably listening to me in the side room, shaking her head.
Dude, what was that show about the college
walked
football?
Away.
The college football.
Not because of that. Sorry, what? I'm getting yelled at because I said Helen Hunt flashlight thing. I didn't bring it up. It was Hetzer in the comments. Yell at Hetzer.
There's a show. It was a college football series. It was super inappropriate. It was all the shenanigans that the players did. They looked like the blue field. They looked like they were in Idaho. And I can't remember the name of that show. It's driving me nuts. But
Friday Night Lights?
No, Blue Ridge something.
Blue Mountain State?
Yes, Blue Mountain State. That's the one. There's an episode where one of the guys had a flashlight passed down to him from his dad who had it in Vietnam, and it's super important to him, and someone else on the team takes it, and then a bunch of dudes are all passing it around, and they're like, you need to give me the flashlight back. And the guy's like, but it feels like a velvet bag lined with puppy ears. It's amazing.
Whoa. That's like the watch from Pulp Fiction, man.
And then,
like passing
and then
it
they
down.
all get like syphilis or gonorrhea from it. Dude, the whole team gets an STD from it.
Holy shit.
You gotta watch,
that's
you ever
my kind
watch
of show.
Football State?
No.
All right, so your summer homework, Rob. I don't ever really assign homework to you, but we're going to this year. Blue Mountain State and Eastbound and Down, man. You gotta watch those for me.
I've already started Eastbound, so I'll finish that and I'll take a little look at Blue Mountain State, and that the story kind of sold me on the show. Hector says, do you guys think the Mike Vrabel situation will impact the Patriots season at all this year? Distraction? No. Story, you think Mike Vrabel situation will impact the Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, it has to.
You're going to get some other news that distracts from it and nothing happens, and Vrabel's a great dude and everything's fine, and he's coaching, and Rossini fades into the sunset.
He has kind of seemed to skirt by any scrutiny for the time being, though. Which is
even his players are like, he's a great guy. I don't know what you're talking about. This is as John Lynch put the electrical substation in San Francisco, a nothing burger. It's going to be over in no time. By the time the season starts, you won't even know that this happened.
Interesting.
I side with Nico on this one, unfortunately. David, is Krosky going JCM going to lose his job to Ford or Katron Allen? Definitely not Ford. He's probably going to get cut. I would assume Jerome Ford gets cut because they can't carry 6 running backs, right?
No.
And then Katron Allen would be the guy, right? Because Katron Allen's early down back. They don't really love JCM in the pass game.
I'm so
Rashad
lost
Weiss in the pass game.
Backfield, dude. I'm waiting for you or Story to tell me what to do in that backfield.
Nobody knows, bro.
Anyway, like you could take your shots late in best ball, but this is going to be a headache all year long. It'll be a nasty committee.
Yeah, and you got Jaden Daniels siphoning. Now, the efficiency should be good, but if you're only looking at 7 to 8 touches per guy for the 3-way committee, and you're getting Jaden Daniels having 7 rushing touchdowns, like, what are we getting? We're getting the RB 29. That's nothing for me. Nothing. Rashad White might be the guy, though, right? That might be the answer in a PPR, like
PPR,
for
yeah, like possibly the pass catcher there. I just don't know that you can rely on him week in and week out. I don't know if you're going to rely on any of these guys week in and week out.
All right, Jason says this is a question for Nico, who is the expert of all things San Fran football. So is Kittle going to be on the pup list or not 100%? Should you draft Tungus? 49ers like using their tight end. Somebody's going to benefit there. Will Kittle ever be the normal George Kittle this season? Because Jennings is gone. So give us your take on that one, because I am a big Jake Tungus fan. Story, I was on that way before with betting on him and picking him up. I think we picked him up in our league, and I had him. I started that first week. I started him in like 13 leagues, and he was awesome every time he was the spot starter.
Yeah, Tom just went from just no catches to I'm going to do what Kittle does very suddenly, and it was amazing. I didn't even see that coming. I didn't think they had any pass catchers past Kittle at tight end. Re-signing Tungus this year, he's very clearly going to be the 2 behind Kittle, but he's productive. And the Niners have nothing past him and Kittle, where you see a lot of these teams going with 13 personnel, right? They're going these 3 tight ends, and the Niners just aren't leaning that way yet. Everything I'm hearing from Kittle is, and Rob, we talked about this on a previous pod, is there's a world where he can be ready week 1, and I don't completely understand it. The Achilles tear was a high or a low one, whichever one is more better. I don't know. But there's a world where he's ready week 1. And if not, absolutely hammer Tungus everywhere you can. You got him for, 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And I love it. And you should get a value on Kittle if he's not starting the season. But where you were taking Kittle in best ball, I'm shooting my shot and I'm going to draft him and assume that he's going to be ready week 1. And if he's not, you've got some other flyers you added late in the draft that can fill in for a month.
Tungus and redraft, like there's a couple of questionable tight ends here with Tucker Kraft coming off injury. Obviously, if you want to take George Kittle, like the price is not a lot because George Kittle is going to go in the, say, 10th, 11th round. Just take Kittle in the 11th, take Tungus in the 14th, and you're going to have you almost want Kittle to miss more games because Tungus is pretty much as good as Kittle, like his production when Kittle's healthy because, you're probably not going to have the highest upside, but Tungus every game is like 4 for 45. Which is,
you don't get fantasy points for how well they block, and that's the difference between Tungus and Kittle, obviously, for the offense. But that makes no difference for us in the fantasy world, and he's just as likely to catch a touchdown every week as Kittle is. So in redraft, I want both of them late, and I'm safe the whole year until week 8 bye.
The problem is if you have shallow benches, that's a really difficult nut to crack. The first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, if you take both of them, you're using up 2 spots on a tight end. Like
if you don't have IR, write your commissioner a sternly worded letter and fix that.
I agree, but a lot of leagues do not have IR, and they've got like 5 bench spots. And so we're talking about like the running backs that could pop off in week 1 that you want to be ahead of. That is difficult. I understand. Like roster construction has to be taken into account here.
Yeah, I'm not discounting that.
Well, let's get to a couple more comments before we get back to Story's list. Jason, by the way, I've sent you like a bunch of emails. We've been going back and forth. I got you in the Discord, so I'm going to keep you in there for a little bit, but you got to message me back so we can figure out what's going on. Just FYI, a little public service announcement for you. Jonathan Smith, Jeremiah Smith to Vegas next year with year 2 Mendoza would be nuts because they don't need a quarterback anymore.
With Bowers,
he's probably going to go top 3, right? Top 3 for Jeremiah Smith.
Man, this is the one guy in the last 20 years that is, as a skill position player, could go number 1 overall. He's that good, and he'll be that good of a prospect.
Are you telling me he's better than Harrison?
Yeah, he is.
Better than Carnell Tate, the bum?
Carnell Tate is great. Carnell Tate was better than Harrison.
No, he's not. He was not better as a prospect. Get the hell out of here, QJ. So I'm glad. Yeah, get out of here. So glad my Panthers got some respect and got some primetime games. But these ticket prices are insane. Tickets higher than a giraffe's pussy. That is pretty high because they're tall. So I get that reference. I appreciate that.
We're taking an L week 1 too, man. A very solid L coming to the Panthers week 1.
I like that. Bears Panthers. There's some not beef between those teams because it's just the Bryce Young trade, which helped us become a pretty relevant team. And you know what? The Panthers are on the up and up though. Their free agency was nice. Their draft was pretty nice outside of Chris Brazzell, who is going to be out of the league in about 2 years. I would say 2 years. Story
about that. Like every Tennessee wide receiver.
Did you see they got the lowest miles traveled this year?
Yeah,
that is a good thing as well.
Like under 10,000 air miles, right?
They got 8,000 something, and the Niners are at 38,000.
Jesus Christ!
Unbelievable.
I'll get him out of San Francisco though. That's where all the injuries happen anyway.
Hey, Cruz has a good point though, because the last couple of years, every team has been preparing for the Chiefs like they used to prepare for like the '90s Bulls, right? And this year, maybe they underestimate the Chiefs. I know it's kind of a crutch argument, but do you think there's any validity to that? Anything? A little bit?
No.
I want the Chiefs to eat dicks and balls. Hopefully, they eat one or the other.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I understand the thought process, but I don't know. Do teams realistically game plan differently? Do they say like, oh, it's just the Chiefs or it's just the Browns? We'll take it a little easy this week.
They do. I think they overlook. I really do. I think they will look a week past a shitty team, and it's a trap game. We talk about trap games all the time, and you see them every year. Where I'm going to win this game.
I don't think in college. I don't think that exists in the NFL anymore. Realistically, I think the coaches are too tuned in.
Then maybe it just happens, but I feel like I see it.
All right. Cruz says Shanahan takes advantage of people sleeping on Tungus. That was not the one I was going to read. Good comment. Thank you, Cruz. Cruz is the man. We love Cruz. He is one of the most entertaining fellas in the Discord. So shout out to Cruz. Jonathan, how many of us are going to tank Dynasty for Smith this year? Not us, because we're going to win. Are you going to tank, Nico?
No way, dude. No way. TD and I, we were talking yesterday about game plan. We're on the same page, man. We got it all figured out. I tried to get a little closer to the turn. Him and I both love turn picks. And I think it was Phantom something that said, no, thank you. He doesn't want to go to 8. After further review, he's going to stay at 11. I was trying to get away from you two in the draft, if I'm being honest. I got no love for being next to you in the draft. I want to be next to you guys in real life. I want to snuggle you both. But in the draft, dude, I'm out. I want nothing to do with you two.
Awesome.
All right, let's move on to your next team story. Where are we going here?
NFC East. Let's start with the Eagles, class of this division, 12-5. They're as loaded as ever. I know they're going to lose A.J. Brown, but they did build up a little bit with Mekhi Lemon there. I mean, they're a Super Bowl contender as far as I'm concerned. They do have to play the Rams, the Texans, and the Seahawks, in addition to road trips to San Fran, Chicago, and Jacksonville. But they get to beat up on a pretty underwhelming NFC East in Washington, Dallas, and New York, and the AFC South. So 12-5 for the Eagles. And the Giants, I think they're going to take a little bit of a step forward, but not, I mean, still a lot to be desired on that roster. So 7-10, like we expect bigger things from Harbaugh and second-year Jackson Dart. But again, this is, they play 7 2025 playoff teams here. They got to go through Seattle, Houston, Philly, Detroit, LA. It's a tough road to hoe there for them to get above 500. So 7-10 for the Giants. I've got this one. I'm gonna catch some flack for probably both of these, but I got both the Cowboys and the Commanders at 6-11. I think both of these teams are gonna struggle immensely. Yeah, I mean, an elite offense for the Cowboys last year, but that kind of thing tends to regress. The defense is better, but better than what are we talking about? Like I think they're going to be tough to get to 500. I'm well under 500 with these guys. They got to play the Jaguars, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Texans, Seahawks, the Rams. This is all good to great offenses. You got a first-time defensive coordinator, first year for the team, first-time defensive coordinator. This isn't going to be an easy one for them, and it won't be for the Commanders either. They're counting on a healthy Jaden Daniels to kind of vault them into contention, but the coach he's run his course there. They're going to face 6 of the top 11 offensive teams, plus the Eagles and the Bengals, who could vault themselves easily in the top 10. So this one's going to be tough. They get to play Arizona and Tennessee, so sure, fine. But the rest of the schedule is really difficult. Unless Jaden Daniels takes a massive step forward, this is another 6-11 team. So I'm down on this division.
Whew. That's a bold statement over there, Mr. Storey. I'm gonna have to go back and reevaluate because I have a lot of faith in what you do and your ability and your research characteristics. I saw no world where the Giants finish ahead of Dallas this year. I think that is a wild take. And I know there's some injury concerns with the Giants, and I understand what their defense is. And I understand what Harbaugh is. Like you've seen Harbaughs come in and be very successful very early on their teams. But man, that offense in Dallas should be putting 40 burgers up all the time. And they didn't lose much from last year on that offensive side of the ball. I think they had a good draft. I don't think there's any way they finish with that amount of wins personally. Commanders, I'll take or leave, but I am very flip-flopped on your Dallas and Giants take. So I'm gonna before I talk too much shit, I'm gonna go do a little research.
Well, what do you think about the 7-10 for the Giants? Because it sounds like you take umbrage with the 6-11 prediction for the Cowboys more so than anything else in this division.
That's insane, dude. The Cowboys are so much better this year than last year. Their defense is actually a professional unit.
Okay.
And
their
offense is going to be good.
George Pickens playing on possibly a disgruntled George Pickens playing on the franchise tag here. You got Dak Prescott another year older. You've got a shell of a running game. There's literally nothing behind Javonte Williams. Their offensive line's another year older. Ferguson's another year older. The offense, like last year, was outstanding, but it had to be because of the defense. I don't know. I have real concerns about the Cowboys. Plus, yeah.
Well, hold on. The Commanders, though, 6-11 for the Commanders. Like, okay, I get the roster isn't great. And I guess you're just saying Jaden Daniels is trash because
I'm not
the biggest Daniels guy, but it doesn't matter. What did they have? What did they have 2 years ago when they went to the NFC Championship game? What did they have? The element of surprise? Is that what they had? Like, what did they have? How did they do it? I still don't know, but they did it. Right?
Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you're saying that like magically they're going to recapture the glory of Daniels' rookie season?
No, in between. I think 9 wins. 9 wins is fair.
I think he's going full CJ Stroud at this point, man. Like we thought we had something, and now we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, did he even look that good when he was healthy last year? And I mean, how healthy can this guy realistically be? Like, you can't keep taking these shots in the NFL that he took when he was at LSU. Like, it just doesn't work out that way in the NFL.
No, especially not when your arm's as big around as Rob's wiener.
Dude dealt with 2 different injuries last year, unrelated, but both because he got hit. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of
Commanders are bottom of the barrel. I'm with you on that one. I don't know. I struggle to see a world where the Giants are successful this year. I think they're a 4 or 5 win team.
Really? You didn't see any flashes from Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo last year?
I saw them. I saw the flashes they saw when they got hit in the head and left the field. I saw those flashes. And Neighbors potentially having a setback. I don't know that the defense in New York is enough. That's my concern. And I don't know that
it's got a lot of weird pieces because the pass rush is elite, but now they're putting Arvell Reese, who I hate to make this comparison, guys, but the Arvell Reese thing, it's got some Isaiah Simmons vibes to it. Like they're gonna play him out of position. He's really raw. I'm just saying, like, why are they doing that? Like he's a pass rusher, right? Like that's what his strength is going to be athletically. And he didn't do a lot of it in college. He's not a Roquan he's not a Roquan Smith, right? He's not.
No.
But they're going to use him like that. That's Isaiah Simmons stuff, bro.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Put some evil on us, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
No, we got to get to the next division, fellas.
All right, what do we got, Storey?
Over to the South. Let's start with what I think is the class of this division. And some people might say it's the Jaguars. I think it's the Texans. I think they're going to do just enough, like on the back of an outstanding defense that looks as probably, a little worse than last year, but a nice overhauled offensive line should find a top 12 to 14 offense. It's going to be a 2-horse race in the South between them and Jacksonville, but their schedule is a little tougher. But I like the ability of Stroud to kind of do what it takes to win games. I think he is, they went 10 of 11 last year behind him and that defense last year. So I got 11-6 for Houston, but they're going to edge out the Jaguars who go 10-7. Liam Cohen was a nice boon for this team, certainly. The defense almost certainly is going to take a step back, like that wildly successful last year, 31 takeaways last year. But they lost Travis Etienne. They lost Devin Lloyd. That's a big hit to that defense there. Travis Hunter is still a big question mark. I'm not sure what to do there. Quiet free agency, no first-round pick, so not a whole lot of improvement there. But, they still got Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence looked really good last year, 10-7. Titans, going to take a little bit of a step forward. Last year was rough, but 6-11. Very talent-efficient team last 2 seasons, but they have certainly raised the floor of that offense and that defense. Their defense should be much more competent. We expect Cam Ward to take a step forward. They took Carnell Tate at 4 overall. Having a last place schedule will help, but again, it's going to be rough for them, 6-11. And then, man, I hate to say it, but the Colts, I got them at the bottom of this division, 5-12. And I think it's just I'm gambling on that Achilles injury actually like really hurting Daniel Jones' ability to run the offense properly. A lot of his game was built around the ability to make things happen in the backfield or to take off and run when necessary. No telling how quickly he can get back. So the roster on the offense is good. But again, their playmaker is an extremely expensive Alec Pierce, who really hasn't shown that he's a true alpha in this league. It's difficult to have confidence in this defense either. They got holes at edge rusher. They got holes at linebacker. Zaire Franklin's gone. So this is going to be a rough one for Indianapolis, 5-12 for them.
I think the Colts are in for a rude awakening. It's wild to say they were 7-1 to start the year last year, guys, but
so nuts.
Their wide receiver room's worse. They're relying on Alec Pierce to be a 1, which he is not a 1, guys. I love Alec Pierce, not a 1. Tyler Warren's good, but that defense is not good. I'm not a Sauce Gardner guy, as you guys all know on this program. Not a Sauce Gardner guy. But 5-12 is a little wild to say, dude. That's the sky is falling there in Indy.
Somebody's going to lose games in this league, all right? Everybody's telling everybody it's going to be over 500. Somebody's got to go below 500 in this league, okay?
I think this is the toughest division to predict. Storey, tip a cap to you, man, for just putting your foot in the ground and making a decision on this division, because it is hard, and nobody can really know where this one is going to go. Colts quarterback issues, and like you said, Pierce ain't a one who got paid like one. Losing Franklin, didn't Franklin change his first name too? Didn't he?
Is it no longer Zaire? What did he change?
Yeah, he changed it, I think. Something else. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter to the Colts defense. The Titans, man, they're my sneaky favorite. Like I was talking to TD the other day, and I'm like, I really like Cam Ward. I really like the Titans. I really like them to take a step forward. I also would have really liked if they were able to draft Love instead of Tate. But I fell the way that it did. But I saw Saleh improve that Jets defense a lot in his first year up there. I think he's going to improve this defense a lot in Tennessee. And it's going to be hard to get past the Jags and Houston, who both look like solid playoff contenders last year. D'Amico Ryans is always going to hold his defense down. You got Nico Collins. Which Stroud you're going to get is starting to be concerning, because I was a Stroud truther. I looked very right his rookie year, and I looked very stupid his next two. And I did the same thing with Lawrence. I was like, oh, he's going to be the best. He's going to be. And I tried to get behind him every year, and then it just burns me a couple times and I'm out. So this year, I'm low on Stroud and Lawrence, both of them. And like I said, I want to stay away from recency bias, or I want to stay away from what had happened to me in fantasy or whatever else. But those dudes both burned me, burned my takes, burned my fantasy teams. And I don't want anything to do with either one of them. So I am all Tennessee this year, man. I'm rooting hard for the Titans.
We are also rooting hard for the Titans. I really, really want Cam Ward to be successful in this league. I just think it's going to be another tough year for them. They're still pretty talented fish on both sides of the ball.
So which one of us ends up with Ward in our dynasty draft is what it's going to come down to now.
Pretty high on Ward too. He's a quarterback too, though. Let's not act like he's not a quarterback too. CJ Stroud, I still have some. I've been pretty hard on CJ Stroud, guys, but the situation has been so bad. I think there's a chance that CJ Stroud can come back to his rookie form. They're going to play a lot more 12 and 13 personnel this year. And what do we know about his rookie year, right? It was a lot of heavy packages, a lot of 3-man routes. And if they can do that again, they have enough talent. And I like Noel. I like Higgins. Obviously, Nico Collins is a stud.
And David Montgomery he's better than what Joe Mixon would have been last year. And he's certainly better than what Woody Marks.
Woody Marks. Jesus, Woody
Blue
Marks.
10.
But no, Woody Marks is a nice number 2, though. He is a nice number 2.
Dude, don't forget his middle name. His middle name's Skid.
Skid Marks.
Is that real? Oh, Jesus. Okay. You got me, man. You got me. Look at me. Look at you making some funny jokes there. All right. What's the next division you have, Storey? How many do we have left?
This is the last one, is it not? The NFC South, I believe. I think we covered everything else.
Okay.
But yeah, this one was really, really tough. This one I got everybody kind of bunched together because there's a lot of, for different reasons though. So the Buccaneers, I do have edging out this division, but only at 10-7. Injuries was the name of the game last year. But the defense is much improved, especially the front. That Ruben Bain Jr. pick, I'm convinced that was the best pick of the draft from a value perspective. They're losing, Levante David retired. Mike Evans signed with San Francisco. New offensive coordinator there, so it's going to take some getting used to. But Baker's used to a new offensive coordinator. The guy's played with a new one almost every year of his career. There, Kenny Gainwell should spark this running game. Last year was a disaster from the injury front and from the rotation front. They do get to play the NFC North, but if they can keep it at 500, then that's going to help them edge out the next team, which would be the Panthers. So this one comes down to these guys, they got a first-place schedule. So that means they get to play the Broncos, the Seahawks, the Eagles. It's hard to see them, winning 2 of those games, 1 and 2 or even 0 and 3. They're going to have an upgraded defense. They did sign Devin Lloyd. And then, Dave Canales is not going to be calling plays this year. So that remains to be seen what that looks like for the offense. But this one comes down to Bryce Young and whether he can rise this, rising tide lifts all boats. But I'm not convinced that he is a star quarterback in this league. So 9-8. And then I think the Falcons and the Saints both go 8-9. So that's a step backwards for the Falcons and a step forward for the Saints. this is the opposite of what the Buccaneers did with the Saints. Last year they were 2 of 10 to start the year, and then they won 4 of the last 5. We hope that Tyler Shuck can maintain some consistency and take that strong finish last year into a full season. They upgraded the offense around him. They're trying to put the pieces in place to make sure that they're going to give him the chance to succeed. Travis Etienne, they got guard David Edwards before they drafted Jordan Tyson at 8 overall. So, and then Kane Ellis should be coming back, I believe. So, you got a young secondary. So that's why I don't think that. I think they're going to be probably near the bottom of this division. But 8-9 feels like a realistic finish for these guys, as well as for Atlanta. And a lot of this is just a quarterback play. Is Penix going to be healthy? If not, can Tua make it happen? They lost a lot in free agency. They didn't have a first round pick this year. So they don't have a lot of talent coming in. It's just, it's a middling division, but a lot of these, they feel like they're going to cannibalize each other a lot. It's going to be a close division, I think. So 8-9 for these guys as well.
Yeah, real similar to what it finished last year. And I agree. I see the same thing. Pierce, the first round pick last year that they spent this year's pick on, doesn't look like he's going to be with the team. You don't know what's going to happen with him in Atlanta. Shuck came on strong at the end of the year, but I have a hard time believing that's going to be repeatable going forward. So I like your layout of this division, Storey.
Let's get to a couple supers here real quick. Derek, Jags season felt flukish last year. It was flukish because they won 8 straight to end the season, which was nice. But I think the upside is that Liam Cohen is that dude, right? That he is just that coach.
It looks like he could.
It looks like it, yeah. I mean, 2 years in a row, you go back to the 24 Buccaneers, and then last year with the Jaguars, it certainly looks like he's the guy.
And you saw the Bucs struggle without him, similar as you saw Detroit struggle without Ben Johnson. When an offensive mastermind leaves, it shows, and I think we were seeing that with those teams.
And then we got Jason, OG Jason. Shout out Jason, the biggest Bucs fan in the world. Schedule release, fucking amazing for the Bucs. Baker named his son Maverick. Bucs to the Super Bowl, brother. So now he's back on the Bucs train. We love the Bane pick. We all love that. Baker was hurt last year, guys. He was hurt. And Ibuka was hurt. We hope he was hurt, more than we think, because that was rough. Mike Evans is a big loss, but we like Ted Hurst. At least I know me and Storey love Ted Hurst the problem is Ted Hurst is a little raw. So I don't know how much impact he'll have in the first 5, 7, 8 weeks of the season.
Godwin and Ibuka not coming back, right?
Whatever, that defense, dude, regardless of the Bane addition or not, that defense, I don't know what happened there last year. Todd Bowles is a defensive mastermind, quote unquote, like he's supposed to be. That's his only strength. It's not being a head coach. And that defense was awful. So if that defense can just be league average in this division, the Bucs win this division. They have the best quarterback by a mile. Don't give me Tyler Shuck. Don't give me Bryce Young. Tua. What are we talking about? It's Baker Mayfield. I know he throws a lot of picks. He's a leader. His teammates love him. The fan base loves him. We love him. Great for fantasy. Great for real life.
He's on season 3 of Quarterbacks on Netflix, so you can get some real insight as to how much you should love him too.
Yeah, I mean, the reason it's not a 12-win season is because the Bengals, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, the Lions, Chargers, Ravens, Rams, like it's a rough schedule, but there's still enough talent there for them to win double digits.
All right, we'll get to all the questions here in a second. I have to sorry for this, Jason, for the fucking 100th time, man. Like, I've sent you 10 emails. You have to join the Patreon, a paid tier to get in the Dynasty League. I cannot have people for free that don't support the show join the Dynasty League. They're going to quit. You guys are going to quit. This is all OGs of the show. So if you want, we already filled it as a point. I waited a week. You're welcome to join the community and join the Discord and get in redraft leagues with us. If not, I'm sorry. I don't know what else I could tell you. I literally have given you every step along the way, and you just said, send me the link. Send me the link to the league. Send me the link to the league. Dude, I'm not going to just let anyone in this league. This is the startup professional Fanatics Dynasty League with people that have been with us since the beginning, co-hosts, people that support the show. Is that too hard to understand, guys? I feel like it's pretty easy. I mean, I've sent you 10 emails. It's back and forth. It's been a week and a half. Everyone else, I've done more effort on you than I have for the other 30 people that have joined to get you in. So it's really not that hard. It's basic stuff. There's no fine prints. So that's my message to you. I love you, brother. I like your messages. I want to have you in the chat, in the community. If it's too much to understand, I'm sorry to break it to you, but I don't give special privileges to like anyone, right? It's we want the league to be good. People quitting a Dynasty League, Nico, you know this, ruins the league, right?
Yes, sir. It is tough. It is a tough road to navigate. We got 9 teams of people who followed the instructions and handled their business and did it accordingly, right? There's 3 teams that are, I think, co-hosts, right?
And all co-managed.
Well, yeah, so we're trying to be amenable and open up as many spots as possible. We're all doubled up on teams. We're co-hosting so that we can open up as many spots for the Patreon members as possible.
And there's going to be like 6 redraft leagues every year. So like there's a lot of other perks too that go on to Patreon. Again, if you just go to Patreon, you can. Yeah, so I sent you the link. I sent you the link to the Patreon, so you hop on there. You join for free. You did join the Patreon for free. There's the tiers. Everything is broken down there. Is all I got to say. So if you're down, you want to join this awesome community, we'd love to have you, bro. Like we'd love to have you. Ask anyone in the chat. They'll bring an endorsement what they've invested in the show, which is not much with the economy these days. Let's be honest. $10 a month is get you what, 2 gallons of gas.
If you take all of Rob's early bet lines and you bet them every week, you will come out ahead every single year. For no matter what you're paying in, you're going to win money and you're going to have a shot at winning even more in those redraft leagues.
That is very accurate because we let's take a little gander at the numbers here. We do print money around this program, 96 and 58 last year, as well as 3 other awesome years. And you get all the awesome co-hosts that just give you all the info, all the entertainments. It's never just me. It's awesome people around here that are friendly, very good looking. We have I heard Kevin Stefanski for you, Nico. What do you think about that? A little bit bigger.
Yeah, actually, I see that more than McCarthy. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, it's the beard. Right. It's the beard.
I like it. I could get behind that.
I like that better than my Nick Sirianni one, honestly. I don't like the Nick Sirianni one personally. But what am I going to do? Cruz says, Storey is so sweet. You must have said something very sweet. He is a pretty sweet guy.
Yeah, except for that AIDS comment. That one was a little...
Kevin O'Connell's not a very sweet guy, though. He seems like Kevin O'Connell seems kind of cold, right?
You got to ignore him in training camp because he looks pissed off all the time. Every play that
happens. Ben Johnson. So does your boy Ben Johnson.
Well, you know my feelings on Ben Johnson and his puss face.
I know your feelings on every coach ever. They all suck. They're all terrible, and you hate them all.
You know what? It's the system. I hate the system, and it lends to these idiots being promoted when they shouldn't be. So there's probably some good ones that slip in.
I love politicians. I mean, nobody says that. Dude. That's not a thing. I get it.
David, who is the one player you're avoiding in drafts, even if ADP says they're a good pick?
Well, there's not one player that I'll ever avoid, period. There's nobody
at ADP. No, but at ADP. So it's
he's saying even if their ADP says so, even if they drop, even if their ADP says they're a good pick. I think he's asking like who's your no fly.
Oh, I see. Yeah. There's none for me, but let's just do it. Let's do the other end of it in terms of at ADP. Or let's just say around after ADP, right? Where it's like that. Now we're talking you should draft everyone around after ADP. Is it Travion Henderson? That might be my answer. Because I think he's going a little too high, or is it Jeremiah Love? No,
it's Jeremiah Love for me. I just can't get on board with a rookie running back in a pretty terrible situation.
What about Genty? Where's Genty going? What's his ADP?
End of the first round.
Yeah, I don't know if that team's good enough to support that.
That's it's going to be we did see, even with how poorly the Raiders were at the end of the season, his usage ticked up precipitously. And so assuming that we can get usage, the volume should carry him to.
They didn't add anything. What about what's Lamar's ADP? Lamar Jackson.
You say
52.
Quarterback 2, right? Yeah. God damn it.
Quarterback 2, but ADP 52. So
52.
End of the early fifth round.
Second quarterback's being drafted at the start of the 5th round.
Yeah, I can't argue.
In basketball, at least.
That's wild. Like, think back to 12 years ago when you had Aaron Rodgers going 4
Bowers or McBride going crazy high.
McBride's going up
now. Brock Bowers is going ahead of McBride. It's switched.
Really?
Since the draft, yeah.
It'll probably flip-flop back and forth all summer long.
We're all Bowers guys, I think. Jake, great news, guys. The Chiefs and Bears do not have the same bye week, so an absolutely stacked, badass team I drafted yesterday should win $500K. He took literally like 9 Chiefs and Bears. And I was joking that if they had the same bye week, he's probably cooked because that one week will probably cost you the advancement. But they don't have the same bye week, and he said he could win 500K. He said he's going to donate to the patrons, everyone in the league. So I'm going to hold you to that, Jay, because we're all in that league. We're going to see who wins.
Wouldn't you want like all your star players to be on bye at the same time? That way you minimize you can all stuff it into 1 week, and that week will be a loss. Then you increase your chance.
Best buy is total points. Best buy is total points.
Best
buy is going out of fucking business, guys. Going out of business.
Tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
No, Circuit City is old, dude. Best ball is total points. So you would have like a 40-point week instead of the 130 average. That might sink you.
How about that?
David said,
you remember that, Rob?
Oh God, Radio Shack for batteries, bro. Stroud needs Tank Dell. Would that be a big uptick for you guys? Because we like the rookie, we like the second year guys, and Knoll and Higgins. Schultz is okay, I suppose. David Montgomery's an upgrade, but dude, Tank Dell is that X factor guy, right?
He and Stroud loved playing with Tank Dell. And not only just talking about him, but like their connection downfield was a sight to behold. I was really hoping that Tank Dell would come back. His knee injury was extremely devastating, especially for a guy his size. So him coming back I think it's a boon for the NFL, and it's certainly a boon for the Texans.
Yep. I agree. That's a good call.
What team should we avoid drafting players from?
Browns.
What about Quinshon Judkins?
I don't know where he's going.
I don't know where he's going. Yeah, he's going in the
5th round.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdown opportunity for that team.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Hold on. What about my boy? What about my boy? What about my?
To Samson. Climbing to the moon like that bitch Alice Cram.
Dylan Sampson, I'm telling you, I love Dylan Sampson. Sorry, I loved him coming out. Not a great rookie year, but he had like 37 catches in limited role, right? A couple starts. Also, that awesome touchdown you referenced that take it to the house, Shedeur Sanders throw. It's I do like Quinshon Judkins at his ADP, but it's the Isaiah Pacheco thing, right? Is that fibula fracture? Not to mention there's ligament damage in his ankle for Judkins. Like Dylan Sampson's ADP is 170.
It's also the running back
playable handcuff.
It's the running back dead zone. Like Nick said, there's probably not a whole lot of touchdown equity with that team. I'm pretty much avoiding. I don't know. Where's Harold Fanning going? Like maybe he's worth a dart throw.
He's falling now because all of the rookies they drafted, right? So like now it was, the reason Harold Fanning was great last year, beyond the fact he's a very good player, is he was the only show in town, especially when they kind of shut down Njoku. Now you're looking at Denzel Bush, you're looking at Casey Concepcion, Jerry Jeudy's still there. They have 2 running backs, like it's still the Browns. So I'm kind of off Harold Fanning. Like we all want Tucker Kraft. How about this? Kyle Pitts or Harold Fanning, guys?
Pitts.
What's the ADP difference?
20 picks. Fannon's going 20 picks ahead. I was just saying in a vacuum. Who are you choosing?
Pitts is going 20 picks. Oh, in a vacuum, Pitts.
So Pitts is going later, though. So what about Tucker Kraft or Harold Fanning?
Pitts is going after Fannin?
Oh, yeah. Pitts is tight at 9,
what he did in week 15 or 16 last year or whatever it was?
Well, Kirk Cousins isn't playing anymore, so it was all Kirk Cousins,
Yeah, I know, but still, wow, that's wild. That's kind of crazy to me. I would have thought that for sure.
We're all taking Kraft, right?
Yeah.
Kraft over Fannin.
Got to make sure he's healthy.
Right. It's just I feel like in PPR, Fannon's going to have a lot more value in PPR. When you talk about half PPR for Harold Fannin, like how many touchdowns is he realistically? What's his upside? 7? 6?
6, yeah, probably realistically. That's absolutely.
The answer is the Browns. What about the Dolphins? The thing is, you can't even say the Dolphins because outside of 8-Chain, no one gets drafted on that team. Even Malik Willis is a fringe quarterback.
They only have.
Yeah, is anybody drafting Malik Willis in best ball?
They only got half a salary.
Yeah, well, all quarterbacks are taken. So Malik Willis is like quarterback 20, which I actually like because what do you think the chances are Malik Willis is 1,000-yard rushing season, guys? If he's going to play, let's just say he plays all 17 games.
1,000-yard rushing, dude.
No way.
Yeah, Malik Willis is a fucking 4.4 guy.
You're on drugs.
Oh my god, that's
what?
Dude, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards rushing. What was Justin?
He has no one to throw the ball to. He has no one to throw the ball to, dude. Justin Fields hit 1,000 with the Bears. Justin Fields hit 1,000 with the Bears.
It's gonna be a lot of run, third and long punt.
What's the odds on that line, dude? Look that up. I want to know what the odds are on that line on whatever betting site you feel like.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
I would guess they would set his line at 540. I would say 540 was his line. I love the alt line. because they're not benching him. They paid him. They paid 2 years fully guaranteed for him. They're not benching him for.
I see no chance over 750, dude. Let alone 1,000.
What do you mean? If he plays every game, you think he's going to average 30 yards rushing a game, 40 yards rushing a game?
No, like I don't see it.
You think it's lower?
I don't know.
Dude, they're going to be trailing every game. It's going to be garbage time every game. He's going to be running. He's fucking fast. He has no weapons to throw to.
He's going to be taking sacks too. Remember,
he's going to be running for his life. Like
they're a half of an NFL team. They're literally half of an NFL team.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
God
I don't know where to find that.
I can't believe. Hey, I got
probably not up yet, guys. It's probably not up yet.
Honestly, I got to apologize to David. I didn't throw Miami in there immediately. Like that should have been the number one answer. I'm avoiding the shit out of Miami.
I'm sticking with the Browns because I think Devin Achane could still return value.
All
What's
right.
his ADP?
Devin Achane is. I've already done like 60 best balls, Nico.
I know.
Devin Achane is a top 14 pick. End of the first round, early seconds.
I mean, like whether they're winning or losing, it doesn't matter. It's a volume game. It's a reception game. He's been really efficient in his career. He can do it all. So they're going to need him, and they just paid him a butt ton of money. Although he's still making $22 million less guaranteed than Jeremiah Love, who's never taken a snap in the NFL.
No shit. I already talked to Storey about this. Nico, Emeka Egbuka, end of the third round, early fourth round, ADP of about 37, full PPR. You in?
Man, with what you saw from him to start the year, the potential's there. I see the temptation, right? And Evans is gone. That means you gotta throw the ball to somebody else. Godwin has been good, but injured. And Otten or whoever else they got at tight end, I'm not super concerned with. I know they lost White, who's going to catch some passes. The volume should be there for Egbuka. I like Baker. I like that division is not that strong. I think I'd take Egbuka in the fourth.
There's a report that came out recently that he's going to settle in as the slot role, or the flanker role for
Z.
Yeah, the Z role basically for most packages, because he has a similar instincts to Cooper Kupp. We'll see, because I don't want him playing just a flanker. I want him slot flanker with the ability to move outside. I want him moving around the formation. He's got enough talent that they need to be smart about moving him and getting him in motion. And
you think he can play at the X though?
No.
Yeah, that's okay.
No.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Do we all agree that Chris Godwin in the 9th round is the value here in PPR? That is the
probably.
Value money.
Wide receiver 19 or 20 for Egbuka. That's pricey for a guy who was a wide receiver 4 over the final 5 or 6 games of the season last year.
Nico, break down this Bucs running back situation. Are you touching Bucky Irving 4th round? It's a 3-way committee. Do you see it as a 3-way committee?
Man, I don't know what to see out of there. I thought Irving was just going to absolutely be the stud and run away with this last year, and it wasn't the case. And I know White left, and I know what they added in free agency and the draft is, dude, I can't figure the Bucs out. I have such a hard time. I like the division, so I want players off of that team that I think is clearly the best team in the division. And I like Baker. I don't think Baker's going to struggle. I think he's going to have a good year, even with losing Evans. But man, I have a really hard time drawing the line in the sand on those running backs, dude. What round is Irving going?
Mid 4th.
I'm out. I'm 100% out on Bucky Irving. He has not been cleared for contact from that offseason shoulder.
Still not cleared. What's going on, man?
Yeah. And is that medical? We'd be like, oh, it's medical. He's not cleared, scar tissue, whatever. But we have to keep in the back of our head, he didn't come back for a long time last year, and part of it was was mental. He just had some kind of mental block. So, with Gainwell coming into town, 1,000 scrimmage yards last year. He was basically the MVP of that Steelers team. Gainwell's going to get a chance to start. I think he's going to get a chance to be the guy to start the season.
And where's Gainwell? What's Gainwell's ADP?
Gainwell is about pick 120.
Whew, I'm eating that all, dude.
Yeah.
I am about that, man. I'd get all over that. I'm very much that's where I'm going.
Storey, thoughts on the toilet bowls? He's the Kirk Lazarus of the league. Are you endorsed with the fact that he's the Kirk Lazarus of the league?
Dude, Baker Mayfield has succeeded in spite of Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles might be Todd Bowles gets no heat, but he might be the worst in-game coach outside of Mike McCarthy. Todd Bowles is horrendous. He lucked into this position in Tampa Bay by virtue of hand waving away what he did for 4 years in New York, right, as a Jets head coach, because he got succeeded. We all forget about it because he was succeeded by Adam Gase and eventually Aaron Glenn and Robert Saleh, who were all terrible in and of their own rights. Dude, he punted from the opponent's 40-yard line in one game. He's awful. He's so bad. I mean, he was a fine defensive coordinator, but he slid into this head coach role on a vet team with a nice talent around him, and the team has succeeded in spite of him, not because of him. He's awful.
When we get back to the world, we gotta put together that 3-piece combo band we talked about. Me on stand-up bass, Johnny on the drums, and me tickling the ivories.
What's funny is I would put three of the 5 worst in-game coaches that I can remember in recent memory were from the Jets: Aaron Glenn, Robert Saleh, and Todd Bowles. You can throw Mike McCarthy in there, and then I'll think of probably Shanahan, because dude turtles up in the Super Bowl.
Will you be searching Saleh while I was gone?
Oh, Saleh was awful with the Jets, man. He was awful with the Jets.
So Keith says, who are the top 2 or 3 most obvious targets based on the Week 17 schedule being unleashed? So we can more talk. Again, this is all with a grain of salt because a lot of things change. We could talk fantasy playoff schedules opposed to Week 17 for you, Keith. So I have a list of 9 teams that I like their fantasy schedule. So the Cardinals have the Jets, Saints, Raiders. The Falcons have Washington, the Bucks, and the Saints. The Bengals have Panthers, Colts, Ravens. Panthers, Colts, Ravens. That Colts matchup in the semifinal looks juicy. Chargers have the Niners, Dolphins, and Chiefs. Vikings, Lions, Commanders, Jets. Saints, Bucks, Cards, Falcons. Ooh. That is probably the tastiest one, right? Ooh. Bucks, Cards, Falcons.
Who is that? Run that one back.
That's the Saints.
Okay.
At Bucks, home against the Cards and Falcons. The Bucks have the Saints at Falcons and the Rams. The Titans, Colts at Raiders and Steelers. So those are some ones I really like. I can give you a couple ones I don't like. The Bills, Bears at Broncos at Dolphins. And at Dolphins is one of those where that team's going to be so bad at that point that it seems like a good matchup, but you don't have to do much to beat them. You just have to run the ball a couple times. So maybe good for James Cook. Bears at Bills, Packers, Lions.
Bears are
Packers, Packers have Dolphins at Bears and then Texans. Texans is really tough. Jags, Eagles, Packers. Don't like that. Chiefs, Patriots, 49ers, and Chargers. And then the Dolphins, those of you that want the Dolphins, Packers, Chargers, Bills. That's so bad.
Oh my God.
I already don't want the Dolphins. You don't have to convince me to not own Dolphins.
Forget what I said about Devon Achane.
The first 2 that you liked are garbage teams, man, that I don't know that I can get to the playoffs or that I want anything to do with.
Right. And then the last one I want to highlight is the Eagles. They have, so this is 15, 16, 17. So Seahawks, they're at home. Home Seahawks, home Texans, at 49ers.
That's about one of the roughest ones I've heard tonight, dude.
Just the first 2, right? Maybe the Niners is fine matchup, but Seahawks, Texans, dude. Can you give me 2 tougher defenses? I don't think they exist.
That one's rough. Ugh.
And Niners adding Osa.
The Niners should be okay.
Not be overlooked.
Niners shouldn't move the needle on the defensive side by week.
But if you're investing heavily in the Eagles,
you got to get through.
Maybe for those best ball tournaments, that's not ideal. Your upside for Saquon Barkley, who I'm a big fan of, I'm still going to draft him, but that's not ideal. I mean, a lot of things can change from now to the start of the season, definitely in the season till week 16, right?
I mean, odds are I don't want Hurts where he's going anyway, and AJ Brown's getting traded, so I don't know what that's going to mean for Devontae Smith exactly. Saquon is really the only dude on that offense I'm targeting.
Where is Hurts's ADP lining up?
Quarterback 7, and we went through it. Story is that his worst finish last year was his worst finish. It was quarterback 7 because he had 200 less rushing yards than he's ever had. He only had 8 rushing touchdowns. He was coming off 4 straight years of double-digit rushing touchdowns, including a 14 rushing touchdown season. That was a lot of the tush push debacle last year with them. But you don't see him as a value, Nico, like with what I just said, that his floor is quarterback 7 for the history of his career, and maybe it's the AJ Brown thing. Is that what I'm seeing from you?
I guess I don't trust the rushing yards after what you saw last year, and the rushing yards are what propped him up. It's never been that he's been a big passing quarterback, and then you're going to reduce the possibility of being a passing quarterback even more if AJ Brown gets traded, in my opinion. I think the league's figured out his rushing a little bit, and the tush push is dialed back a little bit. I'm not trying to get Hurts where he's typically going.
Interesting. At quarterback 7, I think he's worth a stat. Like that seems like a value to me. If the rushing can get back up there, I agree that I think the tush push has run its course, but they're still going to get 6 touchdowns out of it, don't you think?
Yeah, and 7 is lower than I expected. I thought they'd have him more about 5. So who are the 6 above him?
Wait, let me guess.
Well,
I can figure it out. So, Patrick Mahomes. No, it's not Patrick. I'm just kidding. It's not Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow, Drake May. This is in no particular order, but Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Drake May. Man, I wonder if Trevor Lawrence is up there. No? Even with
Allen and Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar.
Our top 2.
Yeah. So Allen, Lamar, and I was Drake May, Caleb Williams.
Drake May. Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And then you have Jalen Hurts. The thing is, Jalen Hurts is almost going closer to the next tier of guys than that little 3-pack of Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I feel like
I will be. Maybe I will
7th
be a Hurts guy
round.
this year. I don't like Jaden Daniels up there, dude. That's gross. And Williams, I mean, historically, are the Bears going to have a 5,000-yard passer?
I mean, history says no. Like, if I told you that it snowed every year for 120 years straight, how much would you bet on it snowing again? That's like saying, if I told you that the Bears have never had a 5,000-yard passer or 4,000-yard passer in 120 years, how much would you put on them? You know
so
what I mean?
I might have Hurts at 5. You might get me this year, man. You might have proved me wrong. I appreciate
Nick O just did a fucking 180 on the show. I love it. How about this one from Derek?
180.
How about this one from Derek? Dak or Hurts? And let's call this. So I think we all know in a 4 for a passing touchdown league, this has to be Hurts. Let's even the playing field and call it 6 for a passing touchdown.
Wouldn't 6 per passing? Oh, 6 per passing.
Yeah, and a 4 for a passing touchdown, like Jalen Hurts has the clear edge because the
I'm
rest.
still taking Hurts. I'm still banking on the Eagles bouncing back and that rushing bouncing up again.
Yeah, Dak don't run no more. When Dak got
but
his
it's in a 6 for a passing
year,
touchdown, though, doesn't matter. He's going to have 38 touchdown passes.
Maybe, but maybe the offense takes a step back again. Like we've got a disgruntled what's his name, George Pickens there right now. I'm a little worried about that.
I'm in on Hurts, guys, but in a 6 for a passing touchdown, this is easy Dak for me, and not easy, but Dak edges them out.
There's no rushing.
No, this is no ADP.
There's
This
no
is no
rushing.
It doesn't
like,
matter.
No rushing
I get it.
whatsoever.
I get it.
Nothing. He's going to get you one rushing touchdown and 150 yards. Tops.
But what do we know about 6 for a passing touchdown leagues? Touchdowns are overly weighted, and the yards don't matter as much. It's about touchdowns. And
yeah, that's tough. Good. That's
a rushing touchdown equals a passing touchdown. Like, and I get it that Jalen Hurts will have his 7, 8, 9, maybe 10.
Well,
but he's going to throw for 20. He's going to throw for 20, guys. He never throws for over 20.
What if he throws for 28? What if that ticks up?
Well, he's never done that though. I mean, he's finally going to throw for 28 touchdowns without AJ Brown. Is what you're saying to me? Do you hear what you're saying?
I think you're underestimating Mekhi Lemon and Devonta Smith.
I love Mekhi Lemon. Jesus, get out here with Mekhi Lemon. Devonta Smith, yes. Devonta Smith's a god. I give you that.
Lemon's whatever.
I think my thing is that I'm Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is they got to go back to the recipe that worked, right? Get back in the kitchen, give the ball to Saquon Barkley, and maybe throw the ball more to Saquon Barkley.
Throw the ball to Saquon Barkley. That, you know who that helps? Hurts.
I'm taking Dak in a 6 for a passing touchdown, barely over Hurts. In a 4 for a passing touchdown, it's close, but I'm definitely taking Hurts just because I want the rusher.
I'm taking Hurts all day long.
Wow. So you guys are both Hurts guys now?
Yeah, all the way.
You know what I like? I like that we disagree, man. I think it's fun. It'd be stupid if we all just said the same shit.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah, I can't be an orgy guy. I gotta dress differently. Like
all sorts of candles and scented oils.
Oh man, it's pretty good shit. All right, well, we caught up on questions. Get your last couple questions in, and give me some final thoughts on the schedule release, guys. I went through some of the teams. I guess I'll ask you this: how much should we be looking into this? Because it is easy, and on draft day, I kind of use it as a tiebreaker. When I look at these schedules, because we're all pretty savvy, very good fantasy players. So, I think we like to look ahead more than most, where I don't advise that for a novice player, right? Like, you got to get to the playoffs before you worry about your fantasy schedules. You know what I mean? But is it a tiebreaker for you guys, or do you put a little bit more than just a tiebreaker on it?
I don't even know. I realistically don't even give it much thought, even as a tiebreaker, because the league is so different between week 1 and week 16, week 15, that it's so difficult to predict which teams. We're going off of last year's data until we have a full month. We can't even know who's good and who's bad on the defensive side of things. So I get it. I understand where people are coming from, but I'll reevaluate 8-10 weeks in the season and make moves at that point. Realistically, it's a fun exercise to talk about. It's fun exercise to go through and make the picks, talk about the schedule. But it's barely a consideration when drafting for me.
The volatility from year to year is crazy, right? And the strength of schedule based off of last year's win percentage is pretty much garbage. And that's the strongest stat that everybody points to going into the next year. And then that's real football. Now we take fantasy football into consideration. It makes no difference to me. I do not look at the schedule. I do not look at bye weeks. I do not look at any of that when I'm drafting. I look at what these teams have been year to year on offense. I look at what these coaches and coordinators have consistently been, and I look at what I project the guys to do on those teams. And I don't project it based on the week-to-week schedule. I project it out based on what they're going to do over the course of the year. And some are roller coasters and some are steady. But this schedule release for real life is exciting. But for fantasy, I don't put a lot of weight in it.
What about the next level game plan of seeing a guy that you kind of like, but you're not sold on, and you see he has a really tough schedule, perceived really tough schedule, first 3, 5, 6, 7 games, and you just avoid him because of that, because that's a tiebreaker. And then you're like, I can target him because I feel he's going to struggle. You just avoid him, and now, boom, you target him when he has down 5 weeks, right? Like, you understand that theory and that gameplay?
Absolutely, but that's 5 weeks in based on what has happened and what we've seen already in this new year of NFL football. And some of you gave your likes and dislikes for fantasy playoffs. Man, your dislikes are scary. Like, looking like, oh, this team has these 3 and this team has these 3 and this, like, holy shit. Like, you make a very solid point, and I'm not going to discredit that, but I'm not going to consider that in the draft because so much shit moves and so many things change. And I got to get to the playoffs before I worry about who my guys are playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nico, I don't worry about making the playoffs because, pat myself on the back. I did make 32 out of 36 last year, though, so that's pretty factual, right?
That's amazing. You're a stud, bro.
Good percentage. It's a good percentage.
If I had a gold star sticker, you'd get at least 3 or 4 of them.
Thanks, man.
I mean,
what were you gonna say, Storey? Before I interrupt you with a dance,
it's not quite 90%. It's 89%, but it's not an A. It's a B plus.
Hey, standard is 50. Standard is 50%. So
that's fair. I'm with Nick. I barely give these a thought, even at the beginning of the season, unless a particular. I think this realistically should be broken out like how teams are versus position. If a team is really good versus tight end versus bad wide receivers, like even at the beginning, I don't even really think about like, oh, this team's got San Francisco and Seattle to start. Like, okay, Seattle's a tough defense, or at least they were. We don't know what it's going to realistically look. If I want my guy, I'm going to go and get, if I believe in somebody, then a little blip at the beginning of the season is, if that derails my whole season, then it was never meant to be anyway.
Well put. Well put. Jason, Bucks are 5-0 in season openers. Burrow going to be eating his Skyline chili.
Gross.
End of the first quarter. Bane going to have 3 sacks, and Burrow is going on IR. So Bane's going to have 3 sacks, and Joe Burrow is going to be sackless because he's literally going to get his nutsack ripped off by Bane because the guy is an awesome Batman villain. And we're not going to meet the goal for the chug goal, but I'm going to, just for Jason, because I love Jason, and we do appreciate Jason. I know he's a big beer guy. He's a big beer guy. He is a big beer guy. He would say
it. Bucks guy? Is Jason a Bucks guy?
He's a big Bucks guy. Where have you been, Storey? In Elgin.
I will second Jason's take there. I don't know if you guys have gone to Cincinnati. I have. I've spent.
Don't tell me that Skyline chili is good. Do not tell me Skyline chili is good.
Skyline chili is a staple of the area, right? You gotta go. You gotta have.
I mean,
hold on. Let me finish.
People drink Malort in Chicago, and people eat Vegemite in Australia. Doesn't mean it's good.
Yes,
Malort.
You have to have Italian beefs in Chicago. You have to have Skyline chili over by Cincinnati. But the fuck are you doing putting chili on noodles? That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Skyline chili can eat a bag of D's, dude. Right. I want nothing to do with it.
Nick, I need your opinion on this.
Hot
Chicago
garbage.
Deep dish or Chicago tavern style pizza?
Oh, it's always tavern style for all of us who live here. Deep dish is for tourists.
I got to tell people, like, when we talk about pizza, first of all, Chicago has the best pizza in the world. I don't care. New York, you can go right to hell. But I got to tell people, like, everybody hears about the deep dish and Giordano's and Luminati's, Pizzeria Uno, etc. You got to find the little places that make the Chicago tavern style with the cracker style crust. Mm-hmm. That is real awesome Chicago style.
That's what we all eat. We don't tell no one else, man.
Yeah, I have a pretty funny Malort story for you guys. So in one of my home leagues, it's with kind of a bunch of squares. I don't want to name any names, but they don't really party very much. My other home league, we party till fucking 5 in the morning. Me and Ray are like the main culprits of that. So
I want to live draft our home league, dude. We got everybody except for 2 that are local. We need to start live drafting where it's at.
We need to. And that would be a fun draft. So anyway, this one isn't that fun, but we did it at my buddy's. We like moved it to my buddy's garage, who lives like in this cookie cutter, like all the houses are right on top of each other. We do it in his garage, so it's nice out. The garage door's open. We're all super loud. And my one dude doesn't drink, and there was some punishment, so we had to take a shot of Malort, which is just disgusting. Takes a shot. There's people outside. There's someone walking the dog. This like old lady walking her dog, and he takes a shot. And he like immediately he's like covers his mouth. He runs outside and pukes. And this person, and we're all screaming and yelling like there's a person walking the dog. This old lady. He's just puking in front of her. Pretty awesome. And Malort's gross, I think is the point of that story. It's disgusting.
Did I ever tell you my Malort story in Chicago? We were at Miller's Ale House after an event, and this guy from Michigan who didn't drink, these 2 Chicago skags like side up to him, and they're like, "Buy us a shot of Malort." And I'm like, "Matt," I'm like, "do not engage with these 2 women." And he's like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's like, "We're going to do Malort." She's like, "We're going to do Malort with a pickleback. Do you want one?" I'm like, "Matt," I'm like, "do not do this."
Pickleback, I'm all about you. I love pickleback.
Shot of Malort with a pickleback. He puts his head down, and you know how sometimes they have the gap between the rail and the bar, and he just puked like straight down between the rail. And I'm like, dude, you're going to get us kicked out, man.
It's grosser than like Skull. Like, and Skull's bottom of the barrel, like dollar store fucking vodka. Derek says Philly steak or chopped cheese.
What's chopped cheese? Is that another Philly thing? I don't know what that is.
I'm out.
I thought you guys would know. That's why I didn't. What is chopped cheese? Is this chopped cheese on Philly steak?
It's a sandwich. Oh, it's a New York bodega sandwich, ground beef, onions, and melted cheese, all chopped together on a griddle. Okay.
Oh, I want sliced steak. I want sliced steak all day.
Yeah, give me the Philly steak.
Ground. Yeah, but I got no steak in that game.
Okay.
Every time
dad jokes about
every time I hear bodega, I think of Half Baked, where he's like, "You can go to the little local bodega," and he's like, "Say it with me, bodega." He goes in there like, "Who are you? I want a nickel bag," and he's like shows them his ass. They're like, "Oh, black ass." Every time I think of bodega, that's exactly what I think.
I don't know who Bozo is. What, is he a clown?
Is he a clown? What, are you kidding me?
Or what is he?
Yes, he's a clown.
All right, so what's the big deal? There's millions of clowns.
All right, just forget it.
Forget me? You should forget it. You're living in the past, man. You hung up on some clown from the 60s, man.
Storey's favorite clip. You know he's going to get a fucking laugh. You're hung up on some clown from the 60s, man. Taco Bell. Thoughts on Taco Bell, gentlemen? Hetcher ate some Diablo nugs from T-Bell today. Nice and spicy. It will be good to poop later. Well, it won't be enjoyable. Your ass hole is going to burn for sure. You guys like T-Bell? Nico, I know you're a T-Bell guy, right?
I do like T-Bell, but not Elburn T-Bell. They're slow and mentally challenged, and it doesn't work, and you get wrong things or none things, and they're a hot mess. And Taco Bell has no business making adult chicken nuggets or boneless wings or whatever you want to call them. I tried them, dude. They're terrible. That being said, I will try the Diablo Dusted ones because I'm a sucker for something new, even if I think I'm not going to like it. So I'm curious to see if they're I love hot stuff. I don't think they're going to be hot. Nothing from Taco Bell's ever been hot.
No, well, here's the problem. Like anything corporate is not going to be hot. You get the ghost pepper wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and they're not hot because they have to cater to the muted American palate. Everybody's a wuss these days, and they can't deal with hot stuff. So corporations have toned down. So here's the problem with corporations. Number one, they're trying to appeal to a mass audience. That's your problem with Taco Bell. Taco Bell has a niche, right? It's Tex-Mex food that's kind of shitty, but also awesome tasting. So stick to that. We're doing nuggets. Why? Because chicken is the fastest growing consumer segment in the fast food market. So they got to throw some nuggets in there. Fine. Diablo nuggets. How spicy can these realistically be? They've toned all the spice down and they put sugar in it because Americans are addicted to sugar. You ever go to noodles? You ever get the sauce on noodles? Everything is loaded with sugar. It's just sweet as shit. You
know what really grinds my gears? This Lindsay Lohan. Eh? Lindsay Lohan with all those little outfits. Jumping around there on stage, half naked with your little outfits. You know? You're up there jumping around, and I'm just sitting here with my beer. So, what am I supposed to do? What do you want? Are we going to go out? Is that what you're trying to... Why are you leaping around there, throwing those things all up over there in my face? Huh? What do you want, Lindsay? Tell me what you want.
You don't really grind my gears.
I love that. I do love Taco Bell, though. I do love Tago Bell.
Oh, yeah. You don't like corporate heat, though, apparently. Corporate heat is not for you. The movie heat. You like the movie heat, though.
I love the movie. What the fuck is a bug doing in here? This is shit.
I thought he was going full mafia right there for a second.
Team J loves Taco Bell. Only fast food I eat. Hey, Team J, it's not fast food. It's good food fast. Right? That's what they call it.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
What is that from? What is that from? Is that from Fast Times?
What
is that from? Good food
my wife and I, like, inadvertently, like, anniversaries or special dates or, like, big deals, like, to couples and shit, we get Taco Bell. We're like, oh, we're gonna Taco Bell tonight. Like, that's what we do on this day or on that day. Like, it's turned into, like, our special day food, except for Elburn fucked it up, and I don't want to go to their Taco Bell no more.
I have sat there for 40 minutes. What is it from?
I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, because it's an online order. It's an online order. We already paid for it, so I'm just like waiting for my food, and I'm not gonna fucking deal with the whole corporate thing.
Nope. I'm going to St. Charles, dude, or Geneva. I'm going there. It's faster.
That man, I'm not sitting around for no fast food is worth 40 minutes.
Hey, first of all, Jason says no. I know food is really worth 40 minutes. Jason, the hand gesture Story is giving sign language, and Story, you're in a sign language class or some shit. You said, which is really weird.
I just finished my second sign language class. So now
why are you doing this? Why?
Is
your wife losing her hearing or something?
I like the idea of being able to learn ASL. Can you see that?
Yep, and it's outstanding if you can ever use that in public and help a person or a kid because you understand it, dude. I am about that, dude. I love it. That gives me the warm fuzzies. Story.
What? It's like I'm back from Disney World. Some kid is having a little meltdown, and I'll just go up. You ever see that video of when the wood?
I got goosebumps just thinking of them. Love it.
I gotta like not during the rants though, because I get really animated when I think about corporations.
And that's why I just play the goddamn clip. Did you find out what movie that's from? What movie that's from? It's not fast food. It's movie. It's good food fast.
Kenny Rogers Roasters, where he's like not fast food, Jerry. Good food.
That's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. It's Seinfeld. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I knew this. It was Seinfeld. Okay, I wasn't making shit up, right?
I was thinking of Team America, where corporations are all corporation-y.
Love the sex scene in that movie. Hetzer, violent hand gestures for show Italian mobster vibes.
Oh, I mean,
I
love Heat. I love Goodfellas. I love Casino. I'm a little lukewarm on The Godfather. I think it's a little overrated.
Did you see the what was the recent one? Like the recent the last one with all those guys.
Righteous Kill?
No, The Irishman. Did you see that?
Oh God, so long.
Dude,
So
terrible,
long.
right? 2 out of 10?
It was fine, but like
he's yawning. I yawned through it.
Aging was horrendous. You had like 80-year-old the 80-year-old body of Robert De Niro like skulking over to beat somebody up. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
The only reason it works though is because those guys are still popping out kids in real life. Okay,
it's crazy that Pacino just had a kid not that long ago.
How many does he have now?
I don't know, 1 million.
Like, well, it's not like a Philip Rivers situation, but the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure Al Pacino probably has a son that's like 65, but he also has a son that's 6 months. Like, dude, your firstborn is 65 and your youngest is 6 months. And that's, you call him brother? Like, imagine that when in 10 years from now, you have a 10-year-old that's like going out with a 75-year-old, his older brother, and it's like, this is my brother. He's 75.
Nope.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, he's got twins with Beverly D'Angelo. He's got 4 kids. So the oldest was born in 89. And then the youngest was born in 23.
Late.
Yeah, he started late.
How does this guy know this about you, Storey?
What happened now?
Storey has a massive hog, big brain, big brain, has to learn everything he can possibly. He can, brother. Dude is a genius. You are. Storey you have 4 degrees. Tell me you have 4 degrees, right?
I do have 4 degrees. But there is nothing quite as interesting as anything other than the work that you need to be doing. So if I'm sitting at the office, I'm like, oh, I got to get this done. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. You go down a little rabbit hole reading about stupid stuff. But yes,
I'm looking at the Jets depth chart and scratching my head. And I'm a man that didn't even finish community college, so that kind of shows. But I have a knack for hosting and playing funny clips. Pretty good at that.
Yeah, clips get me.
Yeah, and setting you guys up for success. And, I just academically, it's not that I wasn't good. I just didn't have the patience. And Storey, you must have the patience. Nico is also a genius. Let's pat Nico on the back. Nico, tell the people what you do for a living. You're a genius, right?
I went to 2-year tech college to be an aircraft mechanic, and then specialized in non-destructive testing, which is things like CAT scans and ultrasound and X-ray that everybody's familiar with. And then I got a few methods that we do on airplane parts that are not familiar. So I'm in that realm.
Remember when I texted you?
All right, so hold on. It's my turn. It's my turn, guys. Come on, it's my turn. I host a show on YouTube. I get drunk and make dick jokes.
Just accept the fact that you're white trash, all right? Take a look at yourself. You can't do backflips. You don't know karate. You're white trash.
You're white trash too, dude. Look at those shorts are white trash.
Do not call the shorts white trash. Dennis told me about these shorts, and they're not white trash. Look at this. Look at this. Look what I can do. What is white trash about that? Don't call me white trash.
I feel like if I had that kind of mobility, I'd be capable of pretty much anything.
Bingo.
Dude,
All seriousness, you know what I have done? I've created a pretty awesome community with not just the awesome co-hosts, but all the people in here that I hope is going to be my legacy. Now, hopefully it builds a little bit more. That's something, and that's sales, right? It's selling myself, selling us, and also selling the bets and all the other stuff. That's something. We'll see if this materializes. If it doesn't, I'm going to be working at a fucking gas station.
Tip of cap to you. Cheers. Appreciate you, brother.
Cheers.
You grind every single day where so many people would have just faded and not given a shit. You continue to get after it. And I have a lot of respect for your drive for that, because I personally, if I'm not held accountable, I'm a dip. I'm going to do as little as possible. And nobody's holding you accountable except for yourself. And that is fucking fantastic. Love you.
It's a random Thursday in May, and there's like 1 million people chatting in here. That's awesome.
Well, not even that. The first 4 years of the show, guys, as you know, Storey, Nico, you were on for 2 years. Storey, you did a bunch of movie shows with me, and I put in like 10 hours on the editing on those shows, and obviously not the time we record plus the research. And some of those videos got 37 views. I'm like, I just put in 12 hours of my life for something that got 37 views on YouTube. Like, I'm questioning my life here. And, but you know what? Everything happens for a reason, right? And like, I'm a firm believer in that. And I know that's like a stupid thing. It's better. Everyone says, right? But yeah. It's like, if you could put in the work for nothing, obviously you care about it. You know what I mean? Obviously you care about it. And then when it actually becomes a job, you'd like to think you'd care more or keep that passion up. And that's the thing, is most people don't do things they're passionate about. So many people have good jobs, but do they like what they do? No, and they have to, because they have kids and a family and they have to do it.
I have a lot, dude. And I tried to dip last year and I missed it. Like, I'm back, man. I'm in at least once a week, if not more. Like, I missed it, dude. It's a good time.
Yeah. Wait till
we're glad to get Nico back. Nico, you are elite. That's why I want to get these two guys together. They're going to be on different days, obviously. We'll still have some nice three-ways we like to have, but like, you're such a well-spoken individual, Nick. You're the nicest guy ever. Although if you get on Nick's bad side, the dude's 260. What are you, 260?
Oh, dude, I'm like 275 now.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't fuck with you, is the point. I'm a pretty big guy myself. I'm 250. Storey, we would both eat you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
6'2", 275.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna crack 6 feet. I can feel it. I've been 5'11" for my entire life. I'll
swing you around by your ankles, brother. I got you.
Yeah. Just wait. We'll do something in person and we'll stream it. It'll be huge. When these guys
I've tried everything. I've tried all the tags. I've tried everything there is to do. I've researched this shit. It is what it is. You know what? I like it how it is now, though, because this is grassroots. I know every single person in the community, personal shit about you guys, and hopefully I continue to do that as it grows. But the grassroots stuff is nice because it's very intimate. This is an intimate setting that I feel like if you want to go watch Flock Fantasy, you're going to get none of that. And you're also going to get, between week 4 and 7, if you go ahead and look at Puka Nakua's targets per route run, you're going to have 9.2. If you extrapolate that and multiply it by pi, you get the wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
I do feel somewhat attacked there.
Well, you don't sound like that, but that's why. But the thing is, he's the only one on the show. That's all you get. That's all you get.
I don't know.
You say that? You don't multiply it by. You don't multiply anything by pi, though.
No, he's just saying he's a stats guy.
But I do know pi out to 10 or 11 digits, 3.141592654. So there's that.
314. That's all I got. Pi day.
Jason, we are going to do, I can tell you, one of these days, one of these years, more likely, we're going to do a professional fanatics get together, a retreat, a guys trip.
For
whoever wants to come.
I love that idea.
Vegas is a good idea, but also I think Jason would host it. He lives off a golf course in Florida.
Dude, I'd go to
if you'd want to. It's not as central, and neither is Vegas in terms of the country, where you have people all over the country. But that would be badass.
You could do Nashville and go to a Titans game. They're super cheap.
Nashville sucks ass, bro.
Nope.
You love Nashville. Storey.
I do love Nashville.
No. Ew. No. Nashville's terrible. My wife loves Nashville too.
I went to a Predators game where they played the Hawks. It was a hoot, dude.
Was it awesome?
It was so awesome. I almost got died a little. It was so fun.
DB says a fucking retreat. I love how I did call it a retreat. Aaron Rodgers is showing up for that. He's like, where's the ayahuasca, motherfuckers? We're taking a retreat. Darkness retreat, ayahuasca. Let's do it.
I'm a regular psilocybin microdoser these days, and I am willing to introduce y'all on a retreat. Let's go.
That sounds like out of my wheelhouse, but I'll
I did mushrooms in my bed, guys.
A microdose. You'll be fine.
I hadn't tripped in like 5 years. I used to trip quite a lot. I don't want to say numbers, but I was so far out of the game, and I'll never do it again. I can't. I've used my quota of.
I did it a lot back then, and I did a lot at a time back then, and I haven't tripped ever since. But I've microdosed quite a bit, dude. It's a totally different animal.
Okay. Wow, a lot of people are doing it these days. You're like a real housewife of Elburn. Microdosing.
I love it.
All right. Hey, great show, gentlemen. It's so good to have you two back together in the fold, looking at both your beautiful faces. It was a blast, man. Great show, great info, great entertainment, and just good vibes.
Appreciate you, brother. My laptop is legit about to die. I got to get up at 4:30 for work, so everyone who's paid attention tonight and chimed in your comments. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Keep coming at it. And we're going to keep giving you the business, the money-making business, whether it's picks, whether it's ways to help your team get better and you win your leagues, your home leagues, whatever you're doing. You are only getting better by tuning in to Professional Fanatics.
Life advice, how to microdose, what fast food joints to avoid, etc.
We are so much more.
Sign language, bro. We get it done here. We get it done. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for all the supers. Jason, who am I missing here? Mr. Free Throw, Derek, appreciate you. Everyone else in the chat, you guys are awesome. You guys are the best co-hosts in the world, and can't wait to whoop your all ass. Well, Storey, I'm not going to whoop your ass in Dynasty because we're going to whoop everyone else's ass.
It's the plan.
My heart's
right.
pumping for you guys.
Get some sleep, Nico. You got to get some sleep. Thanks for staying on late with us. You're the man. Thank you to everyone else. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. We out.
You just seem like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you wanted to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.
All right. If